Dragon Ball. Domination of the Universe. Chapter 26. By the way, Gohan, where's Bike? Did I come over to train you? Su Fan asked. He's been here, took a look at me and left. His eyes are so terrifying. I don't want him to train me, I want Uncle Sufan to train me. Son Gohan looked aggrieved. Vic would be a good teacher. Su Fan smiled. However, Su Fan was a little unhappy in his heart. This guy Vic actually didn't train Son Gohan. Su Fan thought about it carefully. It seems that in the original book, after Vic took Sun Wuhan away, he really did not train him immediately, but just threw him into a primitive area and let his husband save. Snap! Su Fan aimed his hand at Son Gohan's head. With the magic light flame blooming, Son Gohan's body was completely new. At the same time, Son Gohan's body also has a new set of clothes. This outfit, almost exactly the same as Sun Wukong's, is no longer the word devil behind him, but replaced with the word Wu. In addition, Son Gohan's hand also has an extra sharp short sword. And these skills were exactly what Su Fan obtained through the Heavenly God download. Huh. Well. Sun Wuhan was stunned, looked at his changes curiously, and looked at Su Fan with adoring eyes. Uncle Su Fan, can you do magic? Quote. A little bit. Su Fan smiled. Uncle Su Fan is so powerful. Son Gohan nodded vigorously. Gohan, let Uncle see your true strength. Su Fan had a whim and planned to fight with Sun Wuhan simply, which may also be an improvement for him. After all, Su Fan's Saiyan inheritance was downloaded from Son Gohan's body, and no matter what, Su Fan was still very grateful to him. Well, Saiyan heritage downloaded from Son Gohan. After thinking of this level, Su Fan seemed to have something in his mind. Before Su Fan was just an ordinary earthling, there were no characteristics, except for the crappy fist technique of the wolf-tooth wind fist, there were too few other masteries. Su Fan saw the Saiyan inheritance from the bodies of Sun Wukong and Son Gohan, and even Raditz's body. However, Su Fan chose Son Gohan's Saiyan inheritance to download and use. At that time, it seemed that the reason why Su Fan chose Sun Wuhan was also because Sun Wuhan was a child. As long as he accompanied him to play small games or something, he would not run around. After all, it takes 6 hours to download a Saiyan heritage. If it were to Sun Wukong, Su Fan would not feel that he could maintain a distance of within 10 meters from him within 6 hours. Now that Su Fan thinks about it, he has cultivated hard enough, but his combat effectiveness is growing so slowly. Is it because he downloaded Sun Wuhan's Saiyan inheritance? After all, Sun Wuhan in this period was indeed very average in terms of cultivation speed. Perhaps, the strength of the Saiyan inheritance, replaced by Sun Wukong, will be further improved. It's just that Sun Wukong is dead now, so let's talk about this for a while. Wait, if it were replaced by Broly's Saiyan heritage? Su Fan immediately thought of Broly, the legendary Super Saiyan. Unfortunately, Su Fan is just thinking about it at present. He doesn't know what direction the planet Wampa where Broly is located. Su Fan decided to wait a few months for his strength to improve, and personally went to the Realm King to ask. You can also download Sun Wukong's Saiyan heritage, by the way. Uncle Su Fan, then I attacked. Son Gohan asked. Well, come on. Su Fan beckoned. Hey! Son Gohan jumped and bombarded towards Su Fan. Snap! Su Fan gently blocked. Bang bang! Son Gohan launched a fierce attack. 20 seconds later, Su Fan gently waved his hand and knocked Sun Wuhan to the ground. Ah! It hurts, Son Gohan croaked his teeth and rubbed his aching body. Gohan, it seems that you have not mastered how to control the breath. Su Fan said to Sun Wuhan. How to control the breath? Sun Wuhan was stunned and looked at Su Fan for no apparent reason. It's like this. Su Fan said, and immediately raised his breath up apart. Ah! Su Fan aimed his hand at a nearby mountain, and the light in his hand bloomed. Boom! Suddenly, the mountain was raised to the ground, leaving only trails of smoke and dust that spread in this big explosion. Huh! Son Gohan was scared stupid. Actually, you can too. Su Fan said. Can I too? I can't. Son Gohan was a little frightened. Gohan, as a man, you can't say that I can't do these 3 words. Su Fan corrected solemnly. Ah, B. Son Gohan immediately nodded obediently. Now, you try to feel the breath in your body, condense the breath into your hands, and destroy that small mountain. Su Fan pointed to a small hill in the distance and ordered to Sun Gohan. I'll try. Sun Gohan clenched his fists. 10 minutes passed. Snap. Sun Gohan sat on the ground with his butt, panting heavily, and sweating on his face. Uncle Su Fan, no, I can't do it. Sun Gohan held his mouth, wanting to cry and cry. Gohan, you were just using your strength in the air just now, and you didn't condense your breath. Su Fan thought for a while and corrected, the so-called breath, that is, the energy in the body, is stored in your body, and you need to condense a part of this energy and use it as an energy bomb. Quote. It's hard to understand, Sun Gohan scratched his head. Come again. Su Fan scolded. So fierce, Sun Wuhan quickly got up and tried to condense his breath again. This time, about 5 or 6 minutes or so passed. In Sun Gohan's hand, an energy bomb flashing with golden light appeared on the ground, which was the size of an egg. Uncle Su Fan, I succeeded. Sun Gohan shouted excitedly. Snap. Sun Gohan's shout suddenly lost his mind, and the energy bomb that was hard to condense also collapsed at once. Well, it's good, this is just the beginning. If you cultivate well in the future, you will definitely be able to condense a powerful energy bomb. Su Fan encouraged. Yes. Sun Gohan's pupils were filled with adoration. Su Fan saw with his own eyes that at this time, his reputation value changed from 5 to 6. No wonder the change in prestige value, Su Fan has never noticed it. It turns out that the change in reputation value is not prompted, just a simple number change. It's just that by simply teaching Sun Gohan, his reputation value has changed and increased by 1 point. On the contrary, he went out to fight black boxing and won the title of the first place in the boxing championship, but his reputation value did not increase a little. Why is that? But anyway, the prestige value can be increased, which is also a good thing for Su Fan. Now Su Fan's total reputation has reached 6, and there are 4 points left to upgrade the network speed. How can the remaining 6 points be improved? Su Fan tried to guide Sun Wuhan again. As a result, Su Fan found that the reputation value did not change. Can it be said that you can only get a little prestige from everyone? That's not right. Raditz gave Su Fan 2 prestige points. That being the case, Su Fan had a whim. Gohan, Uncle is also going to cultivate. You cheer well, I will come over and point you out when I have time. Su Fan patted Sun Gohan's head and slowly flew into the sky. Goodbye Uncle Su Fan. Sun Gohan waved goodbye. Su Fan turned into a white glow and sped away in the direction of Bike. Vic, who was closing his eyes and concentrating on cultivation, seemed to sense an aura coming towards him, and opened his eyes at that time. Just when Vic had just opened his eyes, Su Fan had already arrived directly opposite Vic. Are you? Vic looked at Su Fan with a wary look on his face. Bike, I asked you to take care of Sun Gohan and train him, how are you doing? Su Fan asked with a dark face. HMPH, I said before, the kind of little ghost who only likes to cry, what is there to train? Even if he is trained, it will not be of much use after a year. Vic gritted his teeth and said to Su Fan. So, you don't believe me? Su Fan's eyes narrowed slightly. Do you know who I am? You dare to talk to me in this tone? Vic was also a little embarrassed. You know, isn't it the great demon king of Bike? Su Fan smiled. Wow, whoa. Vic roared, and his right hand jerked out in Su Fan's direction, and then a huge energy rushed out from Vic Fan's body. Su Fan didn't dodge at all, and let those energies hit him. Su Fan's current strength surpassed Vic too much, and Vic's attack could not cause damage to Su Fan at all. When the smoke cleared, Bike's pupils shrank together. Since you know that there is a huge difference in strength between you and me, why would you bother? Su Fan smiled. This, Vic shuddered with trepidation. Snap. At this moment, Su Fan saw with his own eyes that his reputation value jumped again, changing from 6 to 7. Is it really to defeat a person and gain a little prestige? Or, after killing, you will get 2 reputation points. Your sister, how many people have names in Dragon Ball? Even if you defeat everyone, can you have 100 reputation points? 100 reputation points to upgrade the 4G network speed. However, with 4G network speed, Su Fan thinks it is basically enough, right? After all, a Saiyan heritage, if you use a 4G network, it only takes 1 minute to download. Next, it's time for me to attack, right? Su Fan smiled slightly and looked at Vic with interest. Vic was like a big enemy, and the whole person was also frightened. Bang! Su Fan waved his hand gently, and an invisible energy hit Vic's body at that time. With a muffled sound, when he looked again, Vic flew directly upside down. Boom! Vic crashed into the mountain behind him. The whole mountain collapsed, kicking up a cloud of dust. Poof! Blood spurted wildly from Bike's mouth. Cultivate well, this level of combat effectiveness is far from enough compared to the Saiyans in a year. Su Fan landed on the opposite side of Vic and said lightly, even if it is me now, I am not their opponent. Quote. Speaking of this, Su Fan stepped forward and patted Vic's shoulder. Phew. Su Fan took off and left the scene. He said those things on purpose to motivate me, right? Vic looked at the departing Su Fan with a stunned expression, and he didn't know why, and he felt a warmth. Where did Vic know that Su Fan was not in the mood to motivate him? Su Fan did this just to earn a little prestige value. Through the battle with Vic just now, Su Fan only gained a little prestige value from him. Even if he injured Bike, his reputation still showed no signs of increasing. Su Fan decided to find someone else to try again. Phew. Su Fan turned into a white glow and sped towards the direction of the temple. Not long after, when Su Fan passed by the Garen Tower, he glanced at the Garen immortals inside. Snap. Su Fan landed in the Garen Tower. Garen Immortal. Hello Garen Immortal. Su Fan waved his hand. Su Fan, I didn't expect that your strength has grown by leaps and bounds, and you have far surpassed Sun Wukong's brother Raditz. The Garen Immortals apparently knew about it too. Yes, but I have a sense of foreboding that I am still far from the 2 Saiyans who will arrive in a year. Su Fan said seriously. Cultivate well, I believe that you, joining forces with Goku, will definitely be able to defeat them. Garen encouraged. Garen Immortal, is there really not a single immortal bean left? Su Fan asked. Yes, the last 2 fairy beans have already been given to you. Garen Immortal shook his head. The growth period of immortal beans is very long. I am afraid that it will be very remarkable to be able to grow 2 immortal beans in a year. Quote. Goodbye. Su Fan felt that there was nothing more to talk about, and immediately flew out of the Garen Tower and continued to fly quickly towards the sky. Garen Immortal. Soon, Su Fan appeared above the temple again. Su Fan fixed his eyes and found that Tianjin Fan was discussing with Klin. Moreover, the breath of Tianjin rice and Klin has been highly improved. At least, compared to a few days ago, it can be described as a qualitative leap. Su Fan, are you here? Klin greeted in surprise. Tianjin Fan did not speak, but smiled confidently. The heavenly god also looked towards Su Fan's side and nodded slightly. Both of you have improved your aura a lot, so you've already been to the room of spirit and time. Su Fan asked with a smile. Yes, I went in with Yakilobe. I stayed in it for half a year, and this guy Yakilobe couldn't stand it after a week. Klin smiled. My strength has improved a lot, and I don't think I will easily lose to you Su Fan now. Quote. Su Fan, I've been waiting for this day for a long time. Tianjin Fan smiled slightly, and the confident look on his face was even worse. So, you're trying to challenge me? Su Fan smiled and asked with interest. I have been in the room of spirit and time for 8 months, and I have also made a big breakthrough, and I will not lose to you again this time. Tianjin Rice is full of confidence. Okay, who's coming first? Su Fan asked. Forget it, the 3 of you should go together, it's so troublesome. Quote. Su Fan, do you know what you're talking about? Do you really think that we are still who we were a few days ago? Tianjin Fan was so angry that his nose was crooked. Or else. Su Fan shrugged his shoulders indifferently. Tianjin Meal, haha, don't be irritated by Su Fan, let's go together. Klin nodded. Since he is so arrogant, we can't let him underestimate him. Quote. Tianjin Fan nodded gently. Whoops. The 3 divided into 3 different directions and launched an attack on Su Fan. After making contact with the bodies of the 3, Su Fan found that the strength of the 3 of Tianjin Rice had indeed improved a lot. Now Klin's combat effectiveness has reached 1230, Tianjin Raya's combat power has reached 1480, and dumplings are weaker, only 520. It can be seen that the three of them have not suffered much in the room of spirit and time. As an earthling, it is already very amazing to be able to cultivate combat power to this extent. 10 seconds later, Su Fan easily knocked the three to the ground. Then, Su Fan was pleasantly surprised to see that his reputation value increased by 3 points again. Now, Su Fan's reputation value has just reached 10 points. Finally reached 10 prestige points. Su Fan was overjoyed in his heart, and he could finally upgrade his network speed. However, what made Su Fan feel strange was that Tianjin Fan had obviously provided a reputation value once before. How could there be him this time? Su Fan couldn't figure it out, so he didn't think about it so much. Immediately, Su Fan kindly saw that behind the 2G network speed, there was an additional upgrade button. Su Fan pressed the button. Confirm spending 10 reputation points to upgrade cellular data. A prompt is given. Confirm. Su Fan did not hesitate. The upgrade is done in almost a second. Su Fan immediately looked at the panel of the system. Current cellular data, 3G. Current download speed, 120 kS 600 kS. Reputation value, 0. Su Fan couldn't help but turn his head to look at Tianjin Rice. He had to find a skill to download, so as to feel the speed of the 3G era. Su Fan had contact with Tianjin Rice before, and the option that Tianjin Rice could download suddenly appeared on the panel. In addition to other common skills, there are Sun Fist 50M and 4 Elephant Fist 60M and Qigong Cannon 60M. Su Fan first chose the Sun Fist. Start downloading. The current cellular data is 120K 600K per second, and the estimated completion time is 3 minutes. I went, and sure enough, the internet speed improved a lot. Su Fan felt a burst of joy in his heart. Wait a minute, what is this? Su Fan fixed his eyes and found that behind the 3G network speed, another prompt appeared. Breakpoint resume. Yes, it's a breakpoint resumption. The so-called resumable upload means that after the download is interrupted, such as interrupting the network or restarting the computer, etc., when downloading again, the progress of the last download can be resumed. Su Fan found that behind the breakpoint resumption, there was also a small button to upgrade. What is there to hesitate about? Su Fan immediately pressed the small button of upgrade. Insufficient prestige. To upgrade the breakpoint resumption, 20 reputation points are required. Quote. Suddenly, such a line of text appeared in Su Fan's sea of knowledge. It seems that to upgrade this thing, you still need reputation points. Su Fan didn't pay attention to it anymore. At least for Su Fan, the thrill brought by 3G network speed has a feeling of stepping into a new era. The previous tortoise speed download speed, Su Fan now feels pain when he thinks about it. Sure enough, 3 minutes later, Tianjin Raya's Sun Fist was successfully downloaded. Hey, Su Fan, you've been following me since just now, what do you want to do? Tianjin Fan looked at Su Fan with a dark face and asked. I'm observing your shortcomings to see if I can guide you. Su Fan smiled. What do you say? Are you going to guide me? Tianjin Rice is a little unhappy. A person who was once trampled under his feet now far surpasses his own strength, and this gap is still very large. Bang! Su Fan's heavy punch hit Tianjin Fan's abdomen. Poof! Tianjin Rice spewed out a mouthful of acidic water, and the whole person's face turned white. The next moment, Tianjin Fan crashed to the ground and completely fainted. Brother Tian. Dumpling was shocked, rushed up quickly, aimed his hands at Su Fan, and cast special functions. In this regard, Su Fan only raised his breath slightly, and easily resisted the side effects caused by special functions. Dumpling, can't you see that I'm helping your brother Tian? Su Fan said lightly to the dumplings, if you use special functions on me again, I will be rude to you. Quote. Dumpling was startled and hurriedly withdrew his hands. Tianjin Rice, this guy is good everywhere, but I can't see that I am strong, so I must teach him a little lesson, otherwise when the Saiyans come, it will not be as simple as fainting. Su Fan said lightly to Klin. Ha ha ha, yes, yes. Klin laughed and snorted. After Su Fan knocked Tianjin Rice unconscious, he found that his reputation had not increased. Su Fan basically figured it out. It seems that this reputation value can only be provided once by each person in a specific time period. It seems that as long as this person's strength is improved, and he is defeated again, he can gain reputation points again. Su Fan looked at the faint Tianjin rice, and downloaded the 4-elephant fist and Qigong cannon from his body. The 4-elephants fist is a relatively magical boxing method that can divide the body into 4 parts, similar to the existence of the avatar. Qigong cannons are actually a bit chicken to say. At the beginning, the power of the Qigong cannon was still relatively large. However, later, the power of the Qigong cannon was not a little worse than that of the Turtle School Qigong wave. After downloading the 4-elephant fist and Qigong cannon, Su Fan left the temple and returned to Bulma's home. A month later, the gravity training room was finally developed by Bulma and Dr. Brives. Su Fan immediately threw himself into the gravity training room and began a rigorous cultivation. Starting from 10 times the Earth's gravity, Su Fan overcame the higher Earth's gravity little by little. However, this process was too difficult for Su Fan. Su Fan knew that if he didn't cultivate hard, his fate would be miserable. A year later, Vegeta descended on Earth, and by that time all the warriors except Son Gohan and Klin were killed. Su Fan would never allow this to happen. I want to cultivate. I want to get stronger. I want to go above and beyond. Su Fan repeated these 3 sentences every day. Time flies quickly. In the blink of an eye, 8 months have passed since Sun Wukong's death. Su Fan's cultivation has finally come to an end. And after these 8 months of hard cultivation, Su Fan's strength has made a qualitative leap. Although Su Fan is not Frieza's opponent at present, it is more than enough to repair one Vegeta. Su Fan, what did you say? You said you were going to find Goku. Are you trying to kill yourself? Bulma looked at Su Fan in surprise. I didn't say I was going to commit suicide, I have a way to go to Yin Saudi Mansion. Su Fan smiled. What are you kidding? Bulma didn't believe it. I'm not kidding, I'll go today, and when I will come back is not certain. Su Fan said. You wouldn't want to go out and find another woman, would you? It's only been a few months, but the old problem has been committed again, right? Bulma glared. Bulma, it's enough for me to have you, I won't go looking for another woman. Su Fan said seriously. Well, I believe you. Bulma did find that Su Fan had changed a lot. At least, since this time, Su Fan has not gone to find another woman. In the afternoon of the same day, Su Fan turned on the skill of channeling. What shocked Su Fan was that when he opened his eyes again, he was surprised to find that he had actually appeared in the Yin Saudi Mansion. Line up, everyone line up. In Su Fan's ears, there was also a shouting sound. Looking over, Su Fan saw white souls lining up to be judged by King Yan Luo. Hey, that humanoid soul over there, what about you, why did you cut the queue? The staff of the Yin Saudi Mansion shouted at Su Fan. It's just that after this staff member finished reprimanding Su Fan, he suddenly found that something was not quite right. You're not dead yet. How did you get in? The staff were flabbergasted. Hello, I want to go to the King of the Northern Realm, how to go? Su Fan asked politely. What? Are you looking for Lord King of the Northern Realm? So, are you a god of some planet? The staff's eyes widened. You can understand it that way. Su Fan smiled. Please come with me, the staff said. There is work. Su Fan nodded. Under the leadership of the staff, Su Fan finally saw the endless Snake Road. Walk along the Snake Road all the way forward, and you will see Lord Realm King. Staff introduction. Thank you. Su Fan smiled slightly. Not long ago, a soul named Sun Wukong also said that he was going to find Lord King of the Realm, and I don't know if he found it. I'm afraid that after such a long time, that Sun Wukong is still running on the Snake Road, right? The staff muttered casually. Maybe. Su Fan smiled and waved at the staff. Phew. Su Fan took off and flew quickly on the Snake Road. The next moment, a white flame of light appeared on Su Fan's body, which increased his speed to the extreme. King of the North. Very good Wukong, after these months of cultivation, now you have successfully mastered the Realm King Fist. As I said, the Realm King Fist can exert your potential energy, but it will cause a serious load on the body, and even the slightest carelessness will be life-threatening. The King of the Realm said to Sun Wukong. Sun Wukong nodded solemnly. Now Goku, what you have to do is find a way to cast the double Realm King Fist. The Realm King said. Well, double the Realm King Fist can increase my strength by 2. Sun Wukong nodded and held his breath. When you can successfully cast the double Realm King Fist, I will also teach you a skill called the Yuan Qi Bomb. The Realm King said with a smile. Genki Bomb. Great, thank you King of the Realm. Although Sun Wukong didn't know what the Genki Bomb was, he still thanked him excitedly. Don't be too happy first, those 2 Saiyans, especially one of them, his strength is very amazing. The Realm King said solemnly. I understand, I will work hard to cultivate. Sun Wukong nodded, they still have 2 months to reach Earth, right? Quote. Let me see. The 2 tentacles on the head of the Realm King trembled slightly, looked into the distance, and muttered in a low voice, well, to be precise, in 58 days, they will arrive on Earth. Quote. Lord Realm King is amazing. Sun Wukong laughed. Huh, what is that? The Realm King was stunned and scratched his head. What? Sun Wukong looked at the Realm King in bewilderment. Someone is flying fast on the Snake Road, and it is expected that it will reach my planet in about 10 minutes. The King of the Realm widened his eyes and looked surprised. Who? Sun Wukong was stunned and a little confused. Huh. Is this person alive? The King of the Realm was puzzled, and his expression was even more surprised. Alive? Who the hell is it? Do I know? Monkey King asked. You should know, right? The clothes on him are a bit similar to yours. The Realm King simply described Su Fan's appearance. Huh. Is it Su Fan? Why is he here? Sun Wukong was stunned. He's an Earthling, right? No, he has a tail behind him. Is he also a Saiyan? The Realm King frowned. I heard my brother say that he is indeed a descendant of a Saiyan, seemingly a descendant of a Saiyan named Amoxi. Sun Wukong nodded thoughtfully and took the lead. When he heard the name, Amoshi, the face of the Realm King changed color. At the same time, the body of the Realm King also trembled violently, and his face turned pale for a moment. What's wrong? Lord Realm, you seem to be afraid. Sun Wukong asked puzzled. What do you say? Amoshi. The King of the Realm looked at Sun Wukong in surprise. Yes, it seems to be called Amoshi. Monkey King nodded. You say he's a descendant of Amoshi. The King of the Realm was stunned and his eyes widened. That's what Raditz said. Sun Wukong replied. It's amazing, the Realm King paced back and forth on his planet. That Saiyan named Amoxi, is he powerful? Sun Wukong didn't understand why the King of the Realm was so surprised. What do you know? The King of the Realm gave Sun Wukong a blank look and explained, Amosiana is a Saiyan god, do you say it is powerful? Quote. Saiyan god. That must be very powerful. I really want to talk to him. Sun Wukong clenched his fists. Don't be silly, if Amoshi is still alive, I'm afraid he can shock you to death with a fart. The Realm King said. Wouldn't you? Such an exaggeration. Sun Wukong scratched his head and smiled bitterly. It's not an exaggeration, it's true. The Realm King looked serious. Haha, Sun Wukong smiled bitterly. I didn't expect that Amoshi still has a descendant, the Realm King mused, but it's been so long, and this descendant of his, the bloodline in his body has been almost diluted, right? It's a pity, it's a pity. Quote. What do you mean? Sun Wukong didn't understand. He's coming. The Realm King said. After the voice fell. I saw Su Fan descend from the sky and land steadily on the planet of the Realm King. Sure enough, it's Su Fan. Great, are you here to talk to me? Sun Wukong ran over excitedly and said to Su Fan. Haha, Goku, you are still so belligerent. Su Fan smiled. Hee, I haven't found someone to talk to for a long time, and my hands are a little itchy. Monkey King scratched his head. Goku, I naturally came to find you to have a good discussion this time, but I'll talk about it later. Su Fan nodded, then looked at the Realm King, and greeted, hello, you are the Lord of the Realm King, right? Long time to look up. Quote. Are you really a descendant of Amoshi? The Realm King looked at Su Fan and asked. I don't know, anyway, I'm a Saiyan, I don't know if my ancestor is called Amoshi. Su Fan shook his head slightly. That should be, I did hear that the Super Saiyan god Amoshi later wandered around the universe and most likely went to Earth and survived on Earth. The Realm King muttered. Oh, is it? Su Fan thought thoughtfully. Could it be that Amoshi really came to Earth? About Amoshi, Su Fan, who is a Dragon Ball fan, knows a little. However, the official information about the person Emoshi is very small, only that a long time ago, a Saiyan named Emoshi was the first to become a Super Saiyan god. It seems that later this man named Emoshi died in battle. In this regard, Su Fan did not say much. Su Fan can be sure that he is not a descendant of Emoshi. But since some people think so, he will not deliberately correct these. It just so happened that Su Fan inexplicably became a Saiyan, and he didn't know how to go round, but he didn't expect someone to say his identity for himself. Anyway, it's an honor to meet Lord Realm King. Su Fan said, stepping forward and stretching out his hand. The king of the realm was stunned for a moment, but still stretched out his hand. At the moment of contact with the body of the realm king, several downloaded messages also poured into Su Fan's sea of knowledge. Vitality Bomb, 200M. Jia Wong Fist, 200M. The Watch and See of the King of the World, 300M. Telepathy, 300M. The Joke of the King of the Realm, 1M. There are currently only 5 downloads. Nima, that joke of the King of the Realm, is definitely to make up the numbers. The Yuan Qi Bomb and the Realm King Fist were all too familiar to Su Fan. As for the watchful view of the Realm King, Su Fan guessed that it should be similar to the watchful view of God, and I am afraid that he will see farther away and see the depths of the universe. Now Su Fan has opened the 3G era, the download speed has increased by more than 10 times, and it only takes 10 minutes to download 200M things. Without the slightest hesitation, Su Fan immediately opened 3 tasks and let these 3 tasks be downloaded together. In this way, about half an hour or so, all 3 tasks can be downloaded. The 3 tasks are the Realm King Fist, the Genki Bomb, and the Realm King's Watch. Su Fan suddenly felt that something was not right. This shouldn't be all the abilities of the Realm King, right? Doesn't the King of Realms also have an ability to telepathize? It is someone who puts his hand on the back of the Realm King, and can talk to another person, and even the whole world. What about providing downloads for Mao without this ability? Su Fan looked carefully again, and finally found that there was a line of gray font, almost transparent. Talk to the whole universe. 1G 4G cellular network upgrade is required to download. I'll go. 1G size. However, with the current network speed, it only takes 50 minutes to download. Compared with the previous 2G era, the speed is still very fast. It's just a pity that this thing has to be turned on 4G to allow downloading. It seems that some things are not random to download. Su Fan thought that in fact, on the heavenly god of his earth, there should be something that had not been downloaded. Like what? Make Dragon Balls. Since Tenjin can make Dragon Balls, it stands to reason that it should be available for download. However, at that time, Su Fan did not find an option to download. Goku, how are you doing? Su Fan asked with a smile. I just learned a boxing technique, but I haven't fully mastered it yet, and when I master it, my strength will double. Sun Wukong said confidently. By the way, I brought a lot of delicacies from the earth. I know you haven't eaten good things for a long time, said Su Fan, took out a universal capsule, and threw it out casually. Bang! The universal capsule turns into a table of hearty delicacies. Su Fan, you are so good. Sun Wukong was so excited that his mouth watered. Lord Realm King, let's dine together. Su Fan made an invitation. Well, let me taste the food of the earth. The king of the realm did not object. And in the contact between Su Fan and Sun Wukong just now, Su Fan also learned about Sun Wukong's current combat effectiveness. Sun Wukong's current combat strength is a little more than 6,000, and it is estimated that in 2 months of cultivation, it will increase to 8,000. Su Fan accompanied the Realm King to eat while downloading the abilities on the Realm King. Su Fan had already calculated, how could such a hearty meal take more than an hour? With Su Fan's current network speed, it was downloaded in an hour. By the way, Lord Realm King, I wonder if you have heard of the planet Wampa. Su Fan asked. Planet Wampa. The Realm King was stunned for a moment and said with a smile, I am the Realm King, and I know everything. Quote. Then ask the King of Realm to help me check the coordinates of the planet Wampa. Su Fan said. The coordinate point of the planet Wampa. Su Fan, what are you looking for this planet for? The Realm King asked puzzled. I can have a hunch that someone on this planet will become my worst rival in the future, and if possible, I want to meet him. Su Fan explained. Okay, I'll look for it first. The Realm King nodded, got up and walked towards the distance. Su Fan hurriedly followed behind the Realm King. The King of the Realm looked east, and the two tentacles on his head trembled slightly. A full 10 minutes passed, and the Realm King's eyes lit up and he pointed to the northwest. Found it, right over there. The coordinate point is 331,111,987. The King of Realms said the coordinates of Brawly's planet. Su Fan kept it firmly in his heart. Thank you. Su Fan nodded. Su Fan, I can sense that on that planet, there is a terrible guy whose strength is unfathomable. You can go and don't provoke him. The Realm King instructed with a solemn expression. Okay. Su Fan smiled. After eating, the Realm King's Realm King Fist, Yuan Chi Bomb, and the Realm King's Watchful Watch had already been successfully downloaded by Su Fan. Wow, it's delicious, it's delicious. Sun Wukong patted his stomach happily, finally full. I haven't eaten such a delicious thing for a long time. Quote. Feelings, you have never eaten enough with me. The King of the Realm glared. Ha ha ha, Lord Realm's food here is also delicious, but it is also very good to change the taste occasionally. Sun Wukong laughed. Okay, the meal is also eaten, then I should go back. Su Fan got up to leave. Huh, is this going back? Sun Wukong was slightly startled. I'm alive, I can't stay in this world for too long. Su Fan explained. Haha, yes. Sun Wukong nodded solemnly. A strong fighting intent appeared on his face, and said to Su Fan, before you go back, let's talk. Quote. Okay. Su Fan did not object, beckoning to Sun Wukong, come, attack me with all your might. Quote. Okay, then I'm welcome. Sun Wukong nodded slightly. Boom. Suddenly, Sun Wukong's aura burst out, and powerful energy wrapped around his body. The next moment, Sun Wukong was like a cannonball, speeding towards Su Fan. Snap. The seemingly powerful punch was easily resisted by Su Fan after the moment he came into contact with Su Fan. Bang. Su Fan counterattacked and punched Sun Wukong's abdomen. Poof. Sun Wukong spewed out a mouthful of acidic water, and the whole person fell limply to the ground, almost fainting. What? After seeing such a scene, the King of the Realm was immediately stunned, and he did not come to his senses for a long time. In the eyes of the King of the Realm, Sun Wukong's talent is already remarkable, and since he came to his planet, he has been cultivating hard, and his growth can be described as advancing by leaps and bounds. It's just that what the King of Realm didn't expect was that Su Fan put Sun Wukong down with just one move. Goku, you still have to cultivate well. Su Fan smiled and stretched out his hand to pull Sun Wukong up. That's awesome. Sun Wukong was shocked. He did not expect that Su Fan had become so powerful. It's just that what Sun Wukong didn't expect was that Su Fan's cultivation was even harder than Sun Wukong. When Sun Wukong overcame 10 times the Earth's gravity here, Su Fan was already working towards overcoming 100 times gravity. That's the gap. It's not that Su Fan's talent is so high, it's just that Su Fan knows the historical process of Dragon Ball better than Goku. After defeating Sun Wukong, Su Fan clearly saw that his reputation value changed from 0 to 3. So, does reputation increase as strength increases? Goku, I'll go back first, and when you are resurrected, we will fight side by side. Su Fan waved at Sun Wukong. Su Fan, I will cultivate well, knowing the gap between us, I will definitely not lose to you. Sun Wukong nodded solemnly. Lord Realm King, goodbye. Su Fan also waved at the Realm King. Goodbye. The King of the Realm waved goodbye. Ah. Su Fan sped along the Snake Road and soon increased his speed to the extreme. Not long after, Su Fan entered the hall of King Yan Luo. Ah. Su Fan's figure shook and returned to Earth. Su Fan went straight back to Bulma's home. Bulma. Su Fan greeted Bulma. Su Fan, have you really seen Wukong? Bulma asked curiously. That's not the point. Su Fan smiled slightly, and said to Bulma, how did the spaceship I let you transform today last day? Quote. Dad is remodeling, it should be near the end. Bulma nodded. The spaceship that Su Fan said was the mini one that Sun Wukong came to Earth when he was a child. The spaceship was found by Su Fan in advance and allowed Bulma and Dr. Breves to modify it. Bulma, I'll give you a coordinate, you help me calculate how long it will take to reach that planet with this latest spaceship. Su Fan said, and reported the coordinates of the planet Wampa to Bulma. Well, I'll do the math. Bulma nodded lightly and pressed a few times on the calculator. About 20 seconds later. Worked it out. Bulma said happily, fortunately, this coordinate is not very far from our Earth, and it can be reached in about 15 days with this modified spacecraft. Quote. 15 days. Su Fan pondered. If it only takes 15 days to reach the planet Wampa, Su Fan decided to go there himself. As long as you download the talent on Brawly, you can defeat the Universe Emperor Frieza. Now, although Su Fan's strength has made a qualitative leap, he can even kill the existence of Vegeta in seconds. But Su Fan knew very well that his strength was far behind Frieza. Not even to mention Frieza, even if he is Captain Kinu, Su Fan is still a little different from him without using the Realm King Fist. Su Fan's current combat strength is only 40,000. Although Su Fan had already cultivated very hard, and far surpassed Wukong and Vegeta in this period, only he knew that such a little combat power could not gain a foothold in the universe at all. Su Fan tried to continue cultivating through gravity, but the progress was extremely slow. Since it only took 15 days to travel to the planet Wampa, Su Fan calculated the time, but it was just in time. In this way, it is only a month to go back and forth to the planet Wampa. Before Vegeta and Nappa come to Earth, Su Fan can rush back. Bulma, I decided, I'm going to outer space. Su Fan looked at Bulma and said. Huh, are you really going out? Bulma looked at Su Fan in surprise. Yes, I want to go to outer space to practice and wait for me to come back. Su Fan patted Bulma's shoulder. How long have you been going? Bulma looked at Su Fan and asked, you won't wait for the Saiyans to come and you won't come back, will you? Quote. No, it only takes a month to go back and forth. Su Fan smiled slightly, looked at Bulma and said, Bulma, you have to believe your man, he will never be a deserter. Quote. Okay, whatever you want. Bulma did not object. After a day of transformation of the spacecraft, Su Fan officially embarked on the spacecraft and set off. Phew. The spacecraft retreated into the starry sky and disappeared slowly. Is it really okay not to put in the sound effects of heavy bass? Dr. Breves watched thoughtfully as the spaceship turned into a point. In just an instant, Su Fan's spaceship had already entered the vast starry sky. This was the first time Su Fan had entered the starry sky. Looking at the bright stars outside, as well as the operation of everything in the universe, Su Fan was full of emotion for a while. However, Su Fan knew that now was not the time for his own emotion. Su Fan had to take advantage of these 15 days to try to cultivate the cultivation Realm King Fist. After 300 times gravity training, Su Fan has overcome the oppression brought by 300 times gravity. Su Fan was a little puzzled. It was said that he was already cultivating under 300 times the gravity, but his combat strength did not expect to increase so slowly, it was only 40,000. Su Fan guessed that 80% was the reason why he rarely experienced life and death battles, right? Saiyans are strong when they are strong, and they can better break through themselves in battle. In the absence of battle, cultivating with your head stuffed will not bring a higher improvement to yourself. Just like Son Gohan, before going to Namekiang, his combat effectiveness was not more than 10,000. Later, Sun Wuhan was boosted by the Great Elder with potential energy, and his combat power reached about 30,000. In the battle with Frieza, Sun Gohan's combat effectiveness can be described as advancing by leaps and bounds, and even reached a height of millions. Okay, from now on, I'll try the power of the Realm King Fist first. Su Fan closed his eyes and raised his mind, and the information about the Realm King Fist also entered his mind. Snap! A layer of red light flame bloomed on Su Fan's body, and his aura greatly increased. Twice the Realm King Fist. Su Fan easily cast the double Realm King Fist. Well, it seems that after my hard cultivation, the double Realm King Fist is really nothing. Su Fan felt his own changes, and he was still excited to compare prices. I'd better come a little bit. Triple Realm King Fist. Quadruple Realm King Fist. When Su Fan increased the multiplier of the Realm King Fist to 20 times, intending to continue to increase it to 21 times, Su Fan suddenly felt a burst of exhaustion in his body, and almost spewed out a mouthful of blood. Su Fan dispersed the Realm King Fist and quickly adjusted his breathing. It seems that although he has overcome 300 times the gravity of the Earth, the multiple of the Realm King Fist that he can withstand is about 20 times. If you increase the multiple of the Realm King Fist, Su Fan will be countered by the Realm King Fist. 20 times the Realm King Fist, Su Fan's combat power will reach a height of 800,000, but he can take the opportunity to kill the first stage of Frieza in seconds. Of course, Su Fan was just thinking about it, and he knew very well that Frieza was not so easy to solve. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 15 days later. Su Fan could already see a yellowish planet in the distance, which was his destination, the planet Wampa. Phew. It's finally here. I hope this guy Broly doesn't run away. However, Su Fan thought about it carefully, and it was said that Broly should not easily run away. In the latest theatrical version of Dragon Ball, Broly is a good man, a pure and kind person like Son Goku. It's just that Broly's father is not good, controlling Broly in his hands and using him as a weapon to avenge himself. Su Fan let go of the reaction and could clearly sense the two powerful aura reactions that appeared on the planet Wampa. Well, this is it, that's right. Su Fan took control of the spacecraft and landed safely on the planet Wampa. Snap. Su Fan pressed a button on the spaceship. Suddenly, the spacecraft turned into a universal capsule and was put in his pocket by Su Fan. Just in case, Su Fan specially asked Bulma to transform the spaceship into the form of a capsule. If the spaceship is destroyed on this planet and Su Fan can't go home, it will hurt. Huh. The other two breath reactions, Su Fan had just disembarked from the spaceship and sensed that in the depths of that starry sky, two other powerful aura reactions appeared. The reaction of these two breaths is traveling at an extremely fast speed. Who is it? Judging by the strength of the breath, is it Vegeta and Nappa? Su Fan thought like this, and immediately turned on the Realm King's wait and see skill. Suddenly, Su Fan's eyes penetrated tens of thousands of stars and looked into the depths of the starry sky. The next moment, two miniature spaceships that were moving rapidly appeared in front of Su Fan's eyes. Through the bulkhead of the spaceship, Su Fan saw with his own eyes the sleeping Vegeta and Nappa inside. Wrong. Su Fan looked at the speed of their travel, and then calculated according to the speed and trajectory. At the current pace, Vegeta and Nappa's spacecraft could reach Earth in up to 10 days. Why is it so fast? Didn't the King of Realm say that? Will Vegeta and Nappa arrive on Earth in 2 months? Could it be that the King of the Realm was mistaken? Obviously, Vegeta and Nappa's spaceship far surpassed Su Fan's modified spaceship in terms of speed. After all, Su Fan's spaceship is the style that Sun Wukong came to Earth back then, and it belongs to the product of more than 20 years ago. After more than 20 years of development, the technology of the Frieza Legion has also been greatly improved. If Vegeta and Nappa came to Earth 10 days later, it would undoubtedly be very deadly for Earth. Today's Monkey King has not fully mastered the Realm King Fist. Moreover, Sun Wukong's combat power is only a little more than 6,000 now. Even if he can Realm King Fist and cast Triple Realm King Fist, it is the same as Vegeta's basic combat power. In this way, Sun Wukong could not be Vegeta's opponent in this period. At that time, it is very likely that Sun Wukong and Vic will die in a united battle. If they die, with the ruthless character of Vegeta and Nappa today, they may really destroy the entire Earth. Bulma is dangerous. No, I will never allow this to happen. Su Fan thought about it, and the energy on his body burst out. Snap. Syllable. Quote. Between the whiskers, 2 energy bombs were condensed by Su Fan. Phew. Phew. Su Fan threw out the 2 energy bombs vigorously. Suddenly, the 2 energy bombs quickly escaped into the starry sky, and after flying to a certain distance, they bloomed bright lights in the starry sky, as if they were the sun. Vegeta and Nappa, who were flying in the starry sky, were originally asleep in the spaceship. Then, the two were awakened by this dazzling light. Huh. What is that thing? Nappa was stunned for a moment, squinting and asking. It seems to be an energy bomb released by someone. Vegeta also opened his eyes and frowned. What people? Want to intercept us? Naba smiled softly. It seems that there are really people who are not afraid of death. Vegeta said with a smile, computer, immediately investigate the origin of these two energy bombs. Quote. The computer quickly gave the results of the calculation. Over there. 20 minutes away, a small planet called Wampa. Vegeta said to Naba based on the results of the computer's analysis. Let me see who dares to intercept us. Naba smiled, pressed the detector, and then his face became more contemptuous. Found it, Vegeta, his combat power is a little more than 3,500. What a poor fellow, only 3,500 combat effectiveness, dare to intercept us. Quote. Naba, maybe the one who defeated Raditz. Vegeta guessed in a low voice. The one who defeated Raditz. Impossible, isn't that person's combat effectiveness 3,121? Naba corrected. Are you an idiot? It's been more than 8 months, won't his combat effectiveness grow? Vegeta smiled gently, he already knew that we were going to Earth, so he would also cultivate well in his spare time. Quote. It's just that what I don't understand is, how can he be on that planet Wampa where birds don't? Naba asked puzzled, besides, judging by the probe's reaction, he is the only one on that planet. Quote. Vegeta didn't speak. No, in addition to him, there are 2 people on the planet Wampa, and the combat power is 680 and 1200 respectively. Naba then supplemented. Of these 2 people, one is the one who joined forces with Kakarot before. Vegeta guessed. It's possible. Naba responded, and then smiled softly. I see, they want to stop us on this planet, right? Quote. It's normal, they take care of their planet and don't want their planet to be in danger, so they come to this uninhabited planet, right? Vegeta sneered. Vegeta, are we going to destroy them on the planet Wampa? Naba asked. Of course, first go to the planet Wampa to destroy that guy named Su Fan. I want to see what the Saiyan who is known as the descendant of Amoshi has any ability. Vegeta smiled and said, after we destroy that guy, it's not too late to go to Earth to find the Dragon Balls. Or through that guy named Su Fan, we might be able to ask for the location of the Dragon Ball. Quote. Ha 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 ha, it's worthy of Vegeta, I'm idle and bored, this is just enough to relieve the boredom. Nabahaha laughed, his face full of expectation. Hurrah! The next moment, Vegeta and Naba's spacecraft changed its trajectory in the starry sky and sped towards the planet Wampa. It's finally here. Su Fan breathed a sigh of relief. Su Fan was still afraid that Vegeta and Naba did not come. If they went directly to Earth, Su Fana would be in a hurry. Unless, Su Fan asked Bulma to quickly summon the Divine Dragon and summon himself back. 10 minutes later. Boom. Boom. 2 miniature spherical spaceships descended from the sky and landed on the planet Wampa. The impact of the spacecraft smashed a large crater on the surface of the planet at that time. The location where the spacecraft landed was near where Su Fan was. Su Fan waited with interest for Vegeta and Naba to appear. Another minute passed. Vegeta and Naba levitated high in the air, looking down at Su Fan on the ground. HMPH, it seems that he has been waiting for a long time. Vegeta said with a smile. HMPH, the combat power is 3,580, with a tail behind him, it should be the Saiyan named Su Fan, who is known as the descendant of Amoshi. Naba pressed the probe and said to Vegeta, strange, those 2 combat power reactions, more than 6,000 kilometers away from here, very far away, almost on the back of this planet. Quote. Leave those 2 alone for now. Vegeta smiled, and then fell from the sky and landed directly opposite Su Fan. Without the slightest hesitation, Naba followed Vegeta. If I'm not mistaken, you're Su Fan, right? Vegeta looked at Su Fan with a smile and a teasing look on her face. Yes, my name is Su Fan. Su Fan nodded. You attracted the 2 of us to this planet through the dazzling light of the energy bomb, did you want to defeat us? Vegeta asked with a smile. Beat you. You think too much. Su Fan chuckled. Oh. Name your purpose. Vegeta asked with interest. By the way, it is said that you still have more than 2 months to arrive on Earth, why is it so long ahead? Su Fan asked a little puzzled. HMPH, the technology on your Earth is really backward enough. Vegeta said lightly, don't you know? In this universe, there are many wormholes, some of which happen to be shortcuts between 2 points, and it is also a coincidence that our spacecraft passed through a wormhole just 3 days ago and arrived in the galaxy ahead of schedule. Otherwise, according to the previous route, it would really take 2 months to reach the Earth. Quote. Vegeta, what are you talking to him about so much nonsense? Let me fix him properly. Nabamo's fists are rubbing, and he can't hold his breath a little. After sleeping in the spaceship for 8 months, Naba felt that his body was about to rust, and he couldn't wait to go over now and teach Su Fan a good lesson. After saying this, Naba walked step by step in the direction of Su Fan. It's okay, but don't kill it, just ask about Dragon Ball by the way. Vegeta smiled and didn't put Su Fan in his eyes at all. Obey. Naba sneered, looked at Su Fan and said, a Saiyan like you, it's too easy for me to destroy you. Quote. Bang. Naba blasted a powerful punch at Su Fan. Just as Naba launched an attack towards Su Fan, he saw Su Fan's figure shake and disappear in place. What? What about people? What about people? Nabadong looked west, looking stunned. Vegeta's eyes immediately widened after seeing Su Fan's movement, and there was some surprise in his pupils. Stupid, behind you. Vegeta hurriedly reminded. What? Naba was startled and hurriedly looked back. Sure enough, Su Fan had already appeared behind him. You, when did you run behind me? Naba quickly adjusted his pace and hurriedly distanced himself from Su Fan. Supposedly, it would be more appropriate for you to go to Earth in 2 months. Su Fan muttered, you guys have passed through the wormhole, making time advanced, making my life embarrassing. Quote. Look how I fix you. Naba felt that he was being teased, and a flame of light in his hand suddenly appeared in the direction of Su Fan. Boom. The powerful energy devoured Su Fan's location at that time. After the smoke dissipated, Naba was surprised to see that Su Fan was standing in his original position unharmed, and there was not even a single broken place on his body. That's impossible. That's impossible. Naba's whole person is not very calm. The gap before and after cultivation is really amazing. Su Fan smiled slightly. How is this possible? His combat effectiveness is clearly only a little more than 3,000. Naba cried out, why? Why didn't my attack cause him any damage? Quote. Vegeta's face also changed color slightly. After a short silence. Naba, take off the detector, don't trust the data on it. Vegeta commanded to Naba. What? Vegeta, what do you mean? Naba was stunned for a moment and asked puzzled. His combat effectiveness can be changed, it is possible that his combat power will increase in an instant, and the detector cannot detect the above value. Vegeta snorted coldly, as long as you deal with it calmly, you won't lose to him. Quote. So that's it, ha ha ha, I understand. Naba took a deep breath and tried to calm himself down. Su Fan's expression was flat, and his eyes were as clear as water. HMPH, Su Fan, now I'll let you see, my Ba is powerful. Naba let out a sneer, and after saying this, he quickly rushed towards Su Fan's direction. Bang! Looking at Naba, who rushed up, Su Fan kicked out sharply and directly hit the opponent's chin. Click! Fa! Naba let out a roar, and the whole person fell to the ground with a bang, covering his bloody chin, and his face became even more hideous. Sorry, I kicked your jaw off, you must be in pain, right? Su Fan smiled. You are not my opponent, you are still tender. Su Fan walked step by step in the direction of Naba, and turned his head to look at Vegeta. By the way, you can attack me at any time, and when you destroy this guy, you will be next. Quote. Vegeta frowned, his face changing color slightly. However, Vegeta did not strike immediately, but carefully looked at Su Fan to test his every move. Vegeta has to observe and be invincible. Wow. Whoa. Naba was furious, his forehead was bruised, his mouth opened, and a huge energy bullet erupted from his mouth. Looking at the speeding energy bomb, Su Fan just waved his hand gently. Bang! The energy bomb changed direction and cut an arc across the golden sky. Boom! The energy bomb hit a stone mountain not far away, erupting into a huge roar. What? Naba's face changed color wildly, and he never thought that his attack would actually be slapped by this person. HMPH, it's disappointing to me. Su Fan shook his head slightly, I thought you had a lot of skills, it turned out to be just an idiot. Quote. Wow, me off, me off. Naba was furious, the breath on his body exploded, and the entire planet that shook was shaking slightly. At the same time, somewhere about 6,000 kilometers away from Sufan's side. Huh. What's going on with this planet? Is there going to be an earthquake? Paragus was stunned for a moment, feeling the shaking of the ground, and said thoughtfully. Brawley looked up innocently, looking dazed. We've been stuck here for so many years, if the planet explodes, the two of us will be buried here. Paragus was indignant and unwilling. Brawley did not speak, his expression was indifferent, and his eyes showed a bit of innocence. King Pei. Paragus, will go back someday. If I return to planet Vegeta, you will wash your neck and wait for slaughter. Paragus shouted, with endless hatred in his expression. Brawley glanced at Paragath, still not speaking. After a short silence, Brawley flew up and flew into the distance. Hey, Brawley, why are you going? Paragus quickly asked. The source seems to be on the other side of the planet, I went over to see what happened. Brawley said, speeding up his flight. Paragus was idle, and chased after him closely. Battle scene. Okay, Naba, stand down for me. Vegeta spoke. Naba turned to look at Vegeta, and quickly nodded as the chicken pecked at the rice. What an idiot, you have to bother me to take action myself. Vegeta was a little upset. Hee, Naba smirked, and then smiled viciously at Su Fan. Su Fan, you wait, let Vegeta repair you properly. You probably don't know it, right? Vegeta is a genius warrior, the Prince of our Saiyan. Quote. Oh, is it? Su Fan smiled. Even if you are a descendant of that person, now that your bloodline has become impure after hundreds of years of dilution, you cannot be His Highness Vegeta's opponent at all. Naba snorted coldly. Naba, shut up for me. You talk too much nonsense. Vegeta said coldly. Yes, Naba quickly covered his mouth. Vegeta flew over slowly, closing the distance between him and Su Fan. A gust of wind blew through, and Vegeta's pointy hair fluttered in the wind. Snap! Vegeta struck an offensive and defensive pose with a confident smile on his face. Su Fan just chuckled and crossed his arms over his chest. Su Fan, has anyone ever told you that arrogance comes at a price? Vegeta snorted coldly. Nope. Su Fan said. Very good, then Vegeta will let you see, what kind of price will you pay? Vegeta sneered and was about to launch an attack on Su Fan. Against you, I don't have to be real at all. Su Fan shook his head. What did you say? Vegeta said coldly. 4-elephant fist. Su Fan said, his body split in two, divided into two identical people. Immediately afterwards, the two Su Fans split in two again and turned into 4 people. It was the 4-elephant fist that Su Fan downloaded from Tianjin Rice. The 4-elephant's fist can divide the body into 4 parts, which is equivalent to the existence of the doppelganger. At the 22nd Tianxia First Martial Arts Conference, Tianjin Fan challenged Sun Wukong through this move. However, Sun Wukong soon discovered the biggest weakness of Tianjin Rice's trick. That is, although divided into 4 people, they can see more clearly in terms of vision, but the overall strength will also be divided into 4 parts. In other words, everyone's strength is only a quarter of the original. Now, Su Fan used the 4-elephant fist, mainly to try the power brought by the Realm King fist. Su Fan's overall combat strength has reached 40,000, divided into 4 people, and each person's combat strength is 10,000. Vegeta's combat power reached 18,000, and Su Fan only needed to use twice the Realm King fist to surpass Vegeta. What? He became 4 people. Naba's face changed color. Is this a doppelganger? Quote. Vegeta also frowned, and his gaze swept towards the 4 Su Fan present. But soon, Vegeta smiled softly, and his face became more and more confident. I don't know what you want to do. You are divided into 4 people, and each person's strength will be reduced to a quarter of the original. Are you an idiot? Vegeta spoke out the weakness of Su Fan's 4-elephant fist. I deliberately reduced my strength to a quarter so as not to make people think that I was bullying you. Su Fan let one of them walk out by himself and looked at Vegeta with a smile. What did you say? Vegeta's face was not very calm. This is the humiliation of the red fruit. This Saiyan named Su Fan actually challenged himself with only a quarter of his strength. Vegeta was furious. Su Fan. I Vegeta want to let you know what the consequences are since the Congress. Vegeta shouted angrily, and a powerful aura erupted from his whole body. The vast energy, centered on Vegeta, spread out to all around. Bang! Vegeta turned into a flame of light and rushed towards the four Su Fan. With Vegeta's self-respect, he would never allow Su Fan to split into four people to challenge him. Bang! Looking at the flying Vegeta, one of them, Su Fan, stepped forward and caught his fist. At the same time, this Su Fan also immediately unleashed the Double Realm King Fist and accompanied Vegeta to hone it. What? His combat power is actually comparable to mine. Vegeta's face was full of shock after fighting Su Fan for a moment. What shocked Vegeta the most was that this Su Fan who fought with him was only a quarter of the strength of others. How is that possible? Naba's eyes widened even more, and his face was stunned. Naba, come here. The other Su Fan beckoned to Naba. What are you doing? Naba's face changed color. How? You can't come. I'm going to kill you, it's a breeze. As Su Fan said this, the light in his hand flashed, grazing Naba's chest, and flew into the distance. Boom. The next moment, there was a big explosion behind Naba. The huge impact made Naba's pupils full of endless panic. Naba was frightened and stupid at that time, with endless shock in his expression. What's he doing? Quote. Vegeta, who was fighting with Su Fan, couldn't help but be startled after seeing another Su Fan's move. Don't be distracted, it's nothing to do with you. Su Fan chuckled and punched Vegeta in the face. Abominable. Vegeta covered his beaten face and launched a counterattack. Su Fan blocked with both hands easily. How? Are you coming? Or wait for me to pass? Su Fan squinted at Naba. Naba froze in fright, motionless. Although Naba could not sense the strength of Su Fan's breath, Naba could feel it affectionately that he was only one step away from death just now. If Su Fan's energy hit his body, I am afraid that he will be killed on the spot, right? Okay, I'll remind you one last thing. Su Fan said lightly, if I came to find you, I would pinch you to death. Quote. Su Fan. Too much deception. We were less than 10 meters apart. If you have something to say directly. Naba was so angry that his lungs were about to explode, and he said with a black face. Su Fan did not speak, and looked at Naba's feet with a smile. Naba's body trembled slightly, and he couldn't help but move towards Su Fan's side. Naba was really worried that he was pinched to death by this one named Su Fan. Didn't look at Vegeta over there, was he still pressed and beaten by a quarter of Su Fan? That's pretty much it. Su Fan smiled. Naba Gon glared, but dared to be angry and did not dare to speak. I want to know about Emoshi, can you tell me? Su Fan asked politely. Don't you know it yourself? Naba asked rhetorically. Su Fan's eyes narrowed slightly. Naba was startled, his face changed color, and almost without the slightest hesitation, he hurriedly told Su Fan everything he knew. Emoshi is known as the god of the Super Saiyans and is said to be a god in ancient times. Naba explains, the main reason why the Saiyans are called a fighting nation is because they have risen since the time of Emoshi. But in our current era, it is relatively much declining. I heard that Emoshi later traveled around the universe. Of course, there are also sayings that Emoshi died because he could not withstand the divine power brought by the Super Saiyan God. Quote. Su Fan nodded slightly, with a faint smile on his face. Naba did not dare to say any more, but turned his head to look at the Su Fan who was fighting Vegeta. At this time, the battle between the two sides had reached a fever pitch. Su Fan, who had used the four-elephant fist, actually did not show all his strength, but only used twice the Realm King fist. If you cast a 20-fold Realm King fist, you won't play Vegeta to death. Rao was so, although Su Fan, who only used a quarter of the double Realm King fist, also made Vegeta embarrassed and felt great humiliation. They are also Saiyans, why is this person named Su Fan so much stronger than himself? Wow! Vegeta was furious, his arms outstretched, and light bloomed in his hands. The next moment, Vegeta aimed his hands at Su Fan's body. Su Fan, do you dare to take this move from me? Vegeta shouted. Childish. Su Fan sneered, and his figure shook sharply and appeared behind Vegeta. Bang! Su Fan kicked Vegeta's back waist. With a muffled sound, Vegeta stumbled to the ground, his face rubbing against the ground, leaving a dirt puddle in the ground. But immediately after, Vegeta turned around gorgeously, and the condensed flame of light in his hand also shot towards Su Fan's direction. Bang! Su Fan knew that this was an energy bomb that condensed all of Vegeta's energy, and it was definitely not to be underestimated. Triple Realm King Fist. Su Fan immediately unleashed the Triple Realm King Fist and slapped it violently on the energy bomb. Phew! Energy projectiles flew into the sky, blooming bright colors in the air. What? That's impossible. Vegeta's face became increasingly ugly. The blow that condensed all his energy was actually slapped away by Su Fan. Moreover, this is still a quarter of Su Fan. What? Even Vegeta's all-out blow was easily knocked away. This guy is also too powerful, right? Naba's eyes widened and he stuttered. HMPH. Vegeta was annoyed that Naba had killed his own prestige, and brought the index and middle fingers of his right hand together, aiming at Naba's body, intending to kill Naba on the spot. Su Fan naturally saw it, but Su Fan did not mean to stop it. Naba was of no use to Su Fan at all, and it didn't matter if he died or not. Oh, it's Vegeta. Son of King Vegeta. Quote. However, just as Vegeta was about to kill Naba on the spot, someone suddenly exclaimed Vegeta's name. Vegeta was slightly stunned and looked up in the direction where the sound was coming from. Then, Vegeta saw a middle-aged man with gray hair and a young man with black hair, and behind both of them, there was a fluffy brown tail. What? How is this possible? Naba's face changed color, and he looked at Broly and Paragus with a dull expression. Are you Saiyan too? Didn't the Saiyans have no surviving existence except for me and Vegeta, and Sufan and Kakarot? Quote. Oh. What do you mean by that? Paragath was stunned for a moment and asked puzzled. Paragus and Broly have been living on this isolated planet for more than 20 years. Moreover, Paragath did not know that planet Vegeta had been destroyed by Frieza. You mean to say, are there only a few of us left among the Saiyans? Paragath asked. So, you're really a Saiyan? Naba looked at Paragus and Broly and asked. Of course I'm a Saiyan. Paragath smiled softly and turned to look at Vegeta. Moreover, I recognize it at a glance. You are Vegeta, son of King Pei, right? Quote. HMPH, who are you? Vegeta snorted coldly. My name is Paragath, I don't know if His Highness Vegeta has ever heard of it. Paragus asked with a smile. Che, how could I have heard of a nobody, like you? Vegeta said lightly. So, planet Vegeta has been destroyed. Paragus smiled and asked, I'm curious about how the planet Vegeta was destroyed. Quote. I heard that I encountered a huge meteorite. Naba replied, under the impact of the meteorite, the planet Vegeta became the dust of the universe, and all the Saiyans on the planet were killed. However, His Highness Vegeta and I happened to be on an alien mission and survived. Quote. Naba said this in the hope that the two Saiyans would obey Prince Vegeta's orders in a while. It's a shame. Paragath was a little sorry that he couldn't personally seek revenge on King Pei. Of course, Paragus was more of a little gloating, with endless smiles on his face. Huh. I noticed you just now, the four of you look exactly the same, are you quadruplets? Paragus turned his head to look at Su Fan and asked a little puzzled, when did the Saiyans have quadruplet breeds? Quote. At this time, even Broly looked at the four Su Fan curiously. The four Su Fan smiled, and their figures quickly coincided together, returning to one person. Su Fan had already sensed Broly's breath, and knew that he would come here, so there was nothing to be surprised about. However, today's Su Fan still has a lot of pressure when facing Broly. Moreover, Broly is also the type that can control his own breath, and now before the battle, Broly's breath strength, converted into combat power, is less than 1000. Su Fan knew that Broly's combat effectiveness could never be only such a little. It is very likely that Broly's combat effectiveness has reached the height of millions, or even hundreds of millions. Of course, since Su Fan dared to come to planet Wampa, he had already thought of a countermeasure. What kind of quirky trick is this? It is also possible to combine four people into one. Paragath asked in surprise. This is called the four-elephant fist, a very common skill, you don't need to care. Su Fan smiled slightly. I can already see that you were fighting Vegeta just now, right? Paragus asked with a smile. Yes. Su Fan nodded. It's really difficult for you, after fighting with Vegeta for so long, you can actually survive, which shows that you are still quite strong. Paragus smiled slightly, looked at Su Fan and said, okay, you can step back, and leave the rest to my son Broly. Quote. After saying this, Paragus turned to look at Vegeta. Vegeta, I've been waiting for this day for a long time. Endless hatred appeared on Paragus's face. I remember, a long time ago, my father seemed to have assigned your son Broly to this asteroid called Wampa. Vegeta sneered, no wonder I think the name of this planet is a little familiar. How are you going to seek revenge on my father? It's a pity that you've found the wrong person. Quote. Broly, teach me a good lesson. Paragus ordered loudly. Boom. Suddenly, Broly's body erupted with an astonishing aura and rushed towards Vegeta's side. HMPH, an inferior warrior who was assigned to a planet where birds don't, also dares to challenge me Vegeta, a genius warrior. Vegeta smiled disdainfully and pointed his thumb at his nose. Then, in the next moment, Vegeta couldn't laugh. I saw Broly rushing up, grabbing Vegeta's head, rubbing back and forth on the land of the planet Wampa. A minute later, Vegeta was dying. Nabadu was dumbfounded, looking at such an amazing scene without blinking, and did not come to his senses for a long time. It's terrible. Who is this guy named Broly and why is it so terrible? Bang! Broly casually threw Vegeta on the ground like garbage. Very well, Broly, that's it. Paragus had an endless smile on his face, and he couldn't mention how happy he was. Immediately afterwards, Paragus turned his head to look at Naba, and a faint killing intent appeared in his eyes. Not good. Naba's face became extremely ugly. Broly, this guy is Vegeta's little brother, he has no need to exist anymore, kill him. Paragath ordered. Phew. Broly sped towards Naba. At this critical juncture, I saw Naba's figure shake and quickly appear behind Paragus. Immediately afterwards, Naba aimed his hand at the back of Paragus, and shouted at Broly, stop for me. Better stop me. Otherwise I'll kill him. Quote. Broly was slightly stunned and stopped his attack for the time being. HMPH, your name is Paragath, right? I have already checked your combat power, although your combat power can be changed, but the highest is only a little more than 6,000, and my highest combat power has reached a height of 7,000. Naba sneered, you'd better obediently stay still, otherwise I don't mind killing you now. Quote. Paragath's face was livid, and he did not speak again. As Naba said, his combat effectiveness is indeed around 6,000, which is still a big gap compared to Naba. Very well, now, Broly, I order you, kill this man. Naba pointed at Su Fan with his left finger. Broly turned to look at Su Fan and then at his father, Paragus. Paragus nodded slightly. For Paragus, it didn't matter if Su Fan died or not. Paragus pondered that he would fight between Broly and Su Fan to get rid of Naba's control first. Phew. Broly received the instructions from Paragus, and immediately no longer had the slightest hesitation, and rushed towards Su Fan's side. Su Fan did not mean to retreat, and stepped forward. Bang! The fists of the two collided together. Su Fan felt a huge energy rushing towards him. It is worthy of being a legendary Super Saiyan, and it is indeed extraordinary. Just now, Su Fan felt that Broly's combat power was less than 100,000. Thanks to Su Fan, he cast the Three Realms King Fist so that he would not lose in the first move. And at the moment of contact with Broly, a series of download information immediately entered Su Fan's sea of knowledge. Such as air dancing, extreme flight, energy bombs, eye beams, and so on. These are commonly used skills, and they are no longer of any use to Su Fan now. However, there is an ape avatar, the size is 500 m, but it is worth downloading. Su Fan guessed that this ape transformation might be Broly's ape form. That is, the form of Broly's violent run. In addition, Broly's ape form only made his body burly, his energy increased, and he did not become a giant ape. Su Fan felt that this thing was not bad, and it was definitely worth downloading. Of course, it is still too early to download, and it is fighting, which is clearly inappropriate. Then, Su Fan immediately looked for the legendary Super Saiyan inheritance in it. As a result, I finally found this line of almost transparent gray small print in a hidden position. Legendary Super Saiyan Heritage. 3G 4G cellular network upgrade required for download. Sure enough. Su Fan has already speculated that this thing may have to open 4G to download. After all, to download a full universe call with the King of the World, you also need to open 4G. However, these have long been expected by Su Fan. Bang bang. Just when Su Fan was looking for the inheritance of the transmission Super, Broly also increased the output of energy. It is worthy of the legendary Super Saiyan, and as the battle continues to grow, the combat effectiveness is also rising. Just a few tens of seconds or so, Broly had already suppressed Su Fan, and even wanted to hold Su Fan's head and rub on the ground. Of course, Su Fan couldn't let this happen. 20-fold Realm King Fist. Su Fan's body erupted with amazing energy, and the vast breath, centered on Su Fan, spread out to the surroundings. Suddenly, a storm rolled up near Su Fan, raging like a tornado. At the same time, Su Fan's combat effectiveness was also immediately raised to a height of 800,000. Bang! Fortunately, Naba removed the detector in advance, otherwise the detector he was wearing on his eyes would have exploded on the spot. What is that? Although Vegeta didn't know how to sense the breath, after seeing the dark red flame of light coming out of Su Fan's body, his eyes widened at that time, and his eyes were full of shock. Even Broly was a little stunned, stopped fighting for the time being, and looked at Su Fan without blinking. Bang! After Su Fan cast the 20-fold Realm King Fist, he immediately stepped forward without the slightest hesitation and grabbed Broly's head. With a muffled sound, Su Fan slammed Broly's head on the ground. Boom! The earth was torn apart, and cracks spread in all directions. At the same time, centered on Broly's head, a big hole was smashed. This guy, who the hell is this guy? Paragus' face was unusually ugly. Is there a mistake? Naba looked even more stunned. I remembered, that guy named Broly could be the legendary Super Saiyan. Vegeta croaked his teeth and clenched his fists, but that Su Fan is a descendant of the Super Saiyan god. It's all monsters. It's all monsters. Quote. Cut. Vegeta was indignant and felt uneasy. The next moment, Vegeta's eyes rolled around, turned into a white light, and quickly flew towards the direction of the spaceship. No matter how arrogant Vegeta was, he was also well aware of the gap between himself and Su Fan and Broly at this time. So, Vegeta is going to leave this place and run far. Moreover, Vegeta had already thought of a countermeasure, that is, to find Frieza to deal with the two of them. No, to be exact, let the two of them help them destroy Frieza. In Vegeta's opinion, Su Fan and Broly, the two of them, should be able to destroy Frieza. Of course, Vegeta doesn't know about Frieza's transformation right now. Phew. Just as Vegeta flew towards the spaceship, he saw a flame of light fall from the sky, almost swallowing himself inside. Vegeta broke out in a cold sweat and looked up at the sky in amazement. Don't try to run away. Su Fan sneered. It was Su Fan who just shot. Su Fan naturally couldn't let Vegeta escape from this place so easily. Bang! After Su Fan said this, he punched Broly hard in the chest. Poof! Broly spewed out a mouthful of acid, and the whole person also fell into the dirt pit, and his expression became dark. Phew! Su Fan let out a turbid breath. Fortunately, Su Fan raised the 20-fold Realm King Fist in time, and simply the moment Broly raised the energy just now, Su Fan felt a strong sense of oppression. Su Fan guessed that Broly's basic combat strength had reached at least a height of 600,000. What? Did he defeat the legendary Super Saiyan Broly? Vegeta was so surprised. How is this possible? Naba's face was unusually ugly. HMPH, that guy named Su Fan, do you really think that you have won? After a brief shock, Paragus squinted at Su Fan. Su Fan knew that of course he couldn't defeat Broly so easily. Broly hasn't transformed yet. What has just been defeated is just the norm in Broly. And Su Fan has already taken out all the housekeeping skills. However, since Su Fan dared to come to the Wampa planet, he naturally had his plans. I saw Su Fan unhurriedly take out a small bottle made of metal from his pocket. Snap! Su Fan pulled off the cap of the small bottle and put it on the ground. Fa! Just when Su Fan put the small bottle on the ground, 4 more pillars appeared on top of the small bottle, firmly grasping the ground and making the bottle become stable. At the same time, on the body of the small bottle, two small words, "Magic Seal," were engraved. This is the sealed bottle that has been redeveloped by Su Fan. Su Fan did not allow the small bottle to fall crookedly or have some kind of moth incident when he cast the magic sealing wave. What? Naba was stunned for a moment and muttered with a confused look. He took out a small bottle. What does he want to do? Paragath also frowned, a little unpredictable. HMPH, mysterious guy. Vegeta croaked his teeth and was indignant. I, Vegeta, am the most talented warrior, and I will never allow anyone to be stronger than me. Right at this moment. Boom. I saw that on the position where Brawly fell, an amazing energy erupted. At the same time, a huge aura emerged from Brawly's body. The powerful air current, like a storm, spread the entire planet in an instant. When I looked again, I saw Brawly rising high, his figure became burly, and there was no color in his pupils. It is Brawly's ape form, that is, his violent form. Ha 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 ha, you are finished, he has already stormed away, and his strength has increased by at least 10 times, you can obediently wait for death. Paragus laughed. Too much. Naba snorted coldly. Poof. After Naba said this, his 5 fingers grabbed hard. Only a muffled sound was heard, and when I looked again, Naba's 5 fingers penetrated Paragus's heart at that time. Ah! Paragus's face was full of shock, feeling that his vitality was rapidly dissipating, and his eyes became blurred. You, Paragus turned to look at Naba, his expression unwilling. Su Fan glanced towards this side, and his face changed color. Immediately afterwards, Su Fan immediately looked at Brawly. Fortunately, Brawly only cares about the transformation, and does not seem to notice that his father has been killed by Naba. Or rather, Brawly is just in the early stages of his transformation and has not yet adapted emotionally. However, Su Fan knew that he could not delay any longer. If Brawly became a Super Saiyan because of his father's death, with his current strength, even if he used the magic seal wave, it would be impossible to seal him. Poof! Naba pulled his hand out of Paragus's chest, bringing out a large pool of blood. Paragus was fixed on the spot, the whole person trembled slightly, but he did not fall immediately. It has to be said that the vitality of the Saiyans is very tenacious, and although Paragus's heart was pierced, he did not die on the spot. Brawly, Paragus hissed. However, because the life force of Paragus is close to exhaustion, the sound that comes out is the same as the hum of a mosquito. Demon Seal Wave. Su Fan no longer had the slightest hesitation, and immediately displayed the magic seal wave to Brawly's. Suddenly, a series of spiral flames of light rushed towards Brawly. Brawly, who had just stormed away, trembled violently when he felt this energy flame. The next moment, a powerful energy erupted from Brawly's body, trying to shatter this spiral energy. However, just when Brawly's body burst out with energy, the spiral energy swallowed his body inside at that time. Immediately afterwards, Brawly's body spun uncontrollably in the air. Even Brawly's body changed shape. 1 lap, 2 laps, 3 laps. As Brawly kept circling above the sky, the location of the sealed bottle was getting closer and closer. However, just when Brawly's body turned in I don't know how many circles. On the ground, Brawly's body erupted with golden rays. Suddenly, Su Fan felt a huge coercive pressure rushing towards him. Not good. He's going to become a Super Saiyan. Su Fan was really speechless. It must have been Brawly who accidentally saw blood spurting from his father's heart while spinning in circles. It is worthy of being a legendary Super Saiyan. Can he actually transform into a Super Saiyan in the process of being sealed by the Demon Seal Wave? No way. Once Brawly turned into a Super Saiyan, with Su Fan's current energy intensity, it was impossible to seal him. Using the Demon Sealing Wave, if the difference in strength is too far, it may not succeed. Su Fan estimated that if he wanted to seal the Super Saiyan, his own combat power would at least reach a height of hundreds of millions. Moreover, the Super Saiyan that Brawly has become is no ordinary Super Saiyan. Brawly was transformed in an ape form, and his combat effectiveness has increased by at least 500 times, and even 1,000 times. At that time, Su Fan had no way but to immediately slip away. 30-fold Realm King Fist. Without the slightest hesitation, Su Fan immediately unleashed the 30-fold Realm King Fist, raising the energy to the extreme. Sure enough, after Su Fanchi exhibited the 30-fold Realm King Fist, he suddenly suppressed Brawly's transformation. In fact, it's not that Su Fan's 30-fold Realm King Fist is so powerful, and the reason why he can suppress Brawly's transformation is also because Brawly's current body is not very free in the rotation of the Demon Seal Wave. If Brawly wasn't in the Demon Seal Wave, let alone Su Fanchi exhibiting the 30-fold Realm King Fist, even if he was displaying the 300-fold Realm King Fist, it would be useless. Once the 30-fold Realm King Fist was unleashed, Su Fan felt that all the internal organs in his body seemed to be misaligned, and his body was unspeakably uncomfortable. Su Fan endured the pain brought by his body, gritted his teeth, and continued to control the Demon Seal Wave. Poof! A golden glow suddenly disappeared into the small bottle. Su Fan immediately flew up, pressed the cap firmly and tightened it. Su Fan's transformed small bottle, the cap needs to be pressed and then screwed. This prevents someone from accidentally touching the cap, loosening the cap, and releasing the person who sealed inside. I have to say that Su Fan's transformation is still very scientific, at least there will be no moths. And after completely sealing Brawly, Su Fan's face also turned pale for a moment. I almost couldn't seal Brawly just now. Bang! At the moment when Su Fan sealed Brawly, Paragus also fell to the ground with a bang, spraying blood in his mouth, and he saw that he was not alive. What happened? Vegeta's eyes widened and he stared at Su Fan without blinking. Did he seal Brawly? Naba also looked stunned and looked at Su Fan vigilantly. Poof. At this moment, I saw that Su Fan could no longer endure the backlash brought by the 30-fold Realm King Fist, and a mouthful of bruised blood spurted out of his mouth. Immediately afterwards, Su Fan's body shook from side to side, and he almost fell to the ground. Vegeta and Naba looked at each other, their eyes full of small surprises. Well, I'm already badly injured, and now is your good chance to defeat me. Although Su Fan was not lightly injured, he had a faint smile on his face, and looked at Vegeta and Naba with a smile. Vegeta and Naba looked at each other again, with a hint of doubt in their expressions. You go, kill him. Vegeta commanded to Naba. Naba doesn't know how to do it. Naba knew the gap between himself and Su Fan. If he was not careful, he might be killed by Su Fan. Don't look at Su Fan's injury now, but Naba is very clear that his own strength is simply not enough in front of Su Fan. Just when Naba hesitated, he saw Su Fan's figure swaying and appearing behind Vegeta. Just because of you, you want to kill me too. Su Fan's voice sounded. Vegeta was shocked, and his face changed wildly. Although my energy consumption is heavy, you are not lightly injured, right? Su Fan smiled. Vegeta didn't speak. Phew. Suddenly, a white light suddenly flew out of Su Fan's body and submerged into Vegeta's body. Bang! Su Fan fell limply to the ground. Looking at Vegeta again, his eyes flashed, and there was a hint of cunning. What happened? Naba was a little confused. Wasn't Su Fan's action still very fast just now? Why did you suddenly faint? Vegeta, what happened? Naba asked with some curiosity. In order to seal that Brawly, he almost consumed his energy, and fainted himself. Vegeta smiled. Really, it's true. Naba is a little out of step. What do you say? Vegeta chuckled. Great, our luck came. Naba breathed a sigh of relief and aimed his hand at Su Fan's body. Then I will kill him now, so as not to dream more at night. Quote. Don't rush to do it. Vegeta stopped. We will take him under control and send him to Earth to give Kakarot and those Earthlings a good look, so that they can know how good we are. Quote. You're right, Vegeta, that's it. Naba suddenly realized that Vegeta was too smart. Vegeta turned around and felt a universal capsule on Su Fan's body. Snap. Vegeta pressed the button on the universal capsule and threw it out. Bang! The universal capsule instantly turned into a spaceship. What happened? Naba looked at Vegeta in surprise. It's his spaceship, I didn't expect it to shrink into capsules. Vegeta mused. Yes, I didn't expect the Earth to have this kind of technology. Naba looked back at the spaceship and then at Vegeta, nodding blankly. Okay, let's leave for Earth now. Vegeta said, casually carrying Su Fan's body and walking towards the spaceship step by step. Naba didn't seem to suspect anything and followed Vegeta. The two stepped onto the spaceship one after the other. After Vegeta stepped on the spaceship, he directly found the bedroom inside the spaceship and put Su Fan on the bed. Phew. A flame of light shot out from Vegeta's hand and hit Su Fan's body. Well, I have sealed him through energy. I believe he will not wake up in a short time. Vegeta said lightly, even if we wake up, the energy in our body cannot be replenished, and we are not our opponents. Quote. Great. Naba nodded vigorously, and then said in a deep voice, I didn't think that Amoshi's descendants were so powerful, we almost died on this planet. Quote. Nothing, even if he is strong, is it not that we have become the final winner? Vegeta smiled slightly. Haha, yes, don't say, our luck is really good. That Bahaha laughed. It's just that Naba doesn't know that today's Vegeta has long been occupied by Su Fan. It was through the celestial gods' body borrowing skill that Su Fan suddenly invaded Vegeta's body and dominated his thoughts. At the beginning, Su Fan found that Vegeta was still resisting, but Su Fan's overall strength was much stronger than Vegeta, and he was quickly suppressed. Su Fan now understood that this body borrowing could only be someone who occupied a lower strength than himself. The reason why Su Fan occupied Vegeta's body was mainly because his own body was too badly injured. This made Su Fan think of the original work. When Sun Wukong fought against Vegeta, he used the Triple Realm King Fist or even the Quadruple Realm King Fist, and finally his body could not withstand it, and he was seriously injured. Later, Sun Wukong also stayed in the hospital for a month, because there were no fairy beans during that period. Now Su Fan is the feeling of Sun Wukong, his body is too uncomfortable. In order to seal Brawly, Su Fan used too much energy, and was seriously eaten back by the Realm King Fist. It can be said that the moment when Su Fan appeared behind Vegeta at the last moment almost consumed the last bit of Su Fan's energy. If Su Fan remained in his body, he would feel great pain, and he would even be killed on the spot by Vegeta and Naba. At this critical moment, Su Fan thought of the body borrowing of the heavenly god, and held the mentality of trying it out to see if he could take the opportunity to control Vegeta. What Su Fan didn't expect was that he was really successful. Fortunately, Naba's response was relatively slow, it was the type of thick line, and he didn't see it. If Su Fan invaded Naba's body, with Vegeta's shrewdness, he would inevitably see the doorway. However, after Su Fan invaded Vegeta's body, he found that Vegeta was also not lightly injured, and his combat effectiveness dropped to about 4,000. Before the battle between Vegeta and Brawly, Brawly abused Vegeta and suffered a lot of damage. If he really fights with Naba, it is really not easy for Su Fan to kill him unless he engages in a sneak attack. Moreover, Su Fan was inside Vegeta's body, and he did not dare to use the Realm King Fist. After all, Vegeta's body can only withstand 10 times the gravity of the Earth, and even if he casts the Realm King Fist, he will be injured again. Su Fan pretended to be Vegeta for the time being, and fooled for a while before speaking. Now that Su Fan has occupied Vegeta's body, what he has to do is to restore Vegeta's physical strength first, and then find a way to replenish energy for his body. Vegeta, how does this ship start? Naba walked to the position of the spaceship's console, completely unable to understand the structure on it. By the way, get our spaceship up. Su Fan ordered to Naba. Why? The ship is wider than ours and comfort should be high. Naba asked, puzzled, why take our spacecraft? Quote. How? Do you have an opinion? Su Fan frowned and looked at Naba coldly. Startled, Naba hurriedly bowed to apologize, and quickly disembarked from the spaceship, carrying himself and Vegeta's 2 spaceships. HMPH, next time you dare to be verbose, you know what will happen. Su Fan said coldly. Yes, His Highness Vegeta. Naba was so frightened that his whole body trembled, and he hurriedly bowed down to plead guilty. Su Fan walked unhurriedly to the spaceship control console and pretended to shoot on it. Phew. The spacecraft quickly escaped into the starry sky and left the planet Wampa in a flash. HMPH, this technology of the Earth, at a glance, it will be, but you idiot, you don't understand anything. Su Fan said coldly to Naba. Naba scratched his bald head and laughed. Okay, I'm going to rest, you can do whatever you like, right? Su Fan said and went directly into the bedroom where his body was stored. Naba is worthy of a thick line, and although he found that Vegeta seemed a little wrong, he really didn't think about it that much. Besides, where did Naba know that Su Fan would borrow such a strange trick from his body? After all, among the Saiyans, no one can do this kind of evil spell. After Su Fan returned to the room, he silently looked at his body. His body injury is not light, and it seems that it will be difficult to wake up for a while and a half. However, what made Su Fan feel relieved was that his body could not die, but because he was too injured, he fell into a deep sleep of self-repair. It is estimated that in the absence of treatment, at least 10 days of deep sleep. Fortunately, Su Fan downloaded Bulma High Tech and has a thorough understanding of science and technology. Su Fan first ate a little food with Vegeta's body, replenished the energy almost, and had already surpassed Naba, and then left the room. Then, Su Fan walked in the direction of Vegeta's spaceship and opened the hatch. Su Fan remembered that in this miniature spacecraft, there was a first aid device, and as long as he modified it slightly, he could perform simple treatment on his body. Su Fan opened the hatch of the spacecraft and briefly pondered to understand the structure of the treatment device. This treatment device, mainly through a miniature healing agent, provides the injured with the ability to sustain life. Because this miniature spacecraft is too small, this miniature healing potion is also pitiful. Su Fan looked at it, and the healing potion added up, it was just the capacity of a can of Coke. However, this is already rare for Su Fan. With this jar of healing potions, at least your body can wake up as soon as possible. Su Fan said to do it, immediately took the tool, and began to transform the treatment machine. At this moment, Su Fan found that Naba didn't know when. He had already come out of another room, and was watching there with a puzzled look. His Highness Vegeta, are you in? Naba finally couldn't help it and asked curiously. The power of this spacecraft is too poor, I'll see if it can be modified. Su Fan said lightly. What? The power to modify the spaceship? Naba looked at Vegeta in surprise, and couldn't help but widen his eyes. How? Is there a problem? Su Fan asked rhetorically. No problem, but, Vegeta, when did you learn to do these technologies? Naba asked, puzzled. I've learned it before, do you have any opinions? Su Fan snorted coldly. No, of course not, Naba smiled bitterly, and then replied, however, with the speed of this spacecraft, it is estimated that it can reach Earth in half a month, right? Even if the power system is modified, how many days can it be advanced? Quote. Su Fan stopped the work in his hand and looked up at Naba with a smile. What's wrong? Vegeta? Naba was startled and quickly asked. Naba, I really can't make it up. Su Fan sighed and looked at Naba and said. What are you talking about? Vegeta. Naba asked confused. I wanted you to live a little longer, and I didn't like to have one more dead person in the spaceship. Su Fan sighed slightly and shook his head slightly, it's a pity that you yourself have to come and die. Quote. Vegeta, why are you killing me? Naba was shocked, and he wondered, when did he offend His Highness Vegeta? Su Fan didn't say any more, and pointed at Naba. An invisible energy burst out. Bang! With a muffled sound, Naba turned into a blood mist at that time, and the dead could no longer die. The sad Naba, who died not knowing why Vegeta killed him. Naba felt that he had not made a mistake. For Su Fan, Naba was of no use at all, and it was more appropriate to destroy it. Easily destroyed Naba, Su Fan activated the spaceship's cleaning system and cleaned the spacecraft. Then, Su Fan looked at his reputation value. Prestige value, 28. Destroy a Naba, and the reputation value suddenly increases by 5. Su Fan had a small expectation in his heart. However, if you want to turn on 4G network speed, you need 100 reputation points. Do you want to upgrade the breakpoint resumption first? Su Fan thought about it carefully, and felt that he couldn't use the broken point continuation for the time being. Now Su Fan is eager to download Broly's super inheritance, and he must turn on 4G. As for the breakpoint resumption, Su Fan felt that his download speed was basically enough. If you really need it, just seal this person with a magic sealing wave. Next, Su Fan continued to study the therapeutic instrument. Without Naba's interruption, Su Fan studied relatively quickly. About 3 hours later, the modified treatment instrument was finally successfully manufactured by Su Fan. Su Fan immediately put his body on the healing instrument and turned on the treatment. Not to mention, this modified treatment instrument, the effect is quite good. After about 3 days of treatment, Su Fan obviously felt that the injuries on his body had recovered more than half. However, Su Fan did not immediately return to his body, because he found that although he was in Vegeta's body, he could still download various abilities. Su Fan had fought with Broly before, and there was physical contact. To Su Fan's surprise, he could download his things as long as he was close to Broly's seal. Moreover, what makes Su Fan happiest is that his reputation value, I don't know when, has already become 28. Su Fan guessed that 80% of so many prestige values were obtained because of sealing Broly, right? Skipping battles should earn higher prestige points. No wonder the previous reputation grew so slowly. Immediately afterwards, Su Fan began to download the ape form on Broly's body. The size of the ape form is 500 M, and with Su Fan's current network speed, it takes half an hour to download it. Half an hour passed quickly. Broly's ape form was also successfully downloaded by Su Fan. Phew. Su Fan exhaled deeply. However, Su Fan thought about it carefully. Broly's ape form is very good, but unfortunately, once he enters the ape form, he will put himself in violent mode. Broly has stormed away, and what Su Fan downloaded is Broly's ape form, and Su Fan does not think that he will not storm away. In fact, to put it bluntly, Su Fan's download is equivalent to copying the other party's attributes, and basically there will not be much change. That's right. Su Fan looked at the mirror, his eyes shining. After Broly transforms into a great ape, he loses his mind. After Sun Wukong transforms into a giant ape, he will also lose his mind. The same goes for Son Gohan. It's just that one person will retain his consciousness after transforming into a giant ape. He is Vegeta. That's right. Vegeta himself has said that he is a Saiyan royal family, and he will never lose his mind after transforming into a giant ape. Since Vegeta can retain a clear mind after turning into a great ape, then Su Fan immediately went to check Vegeta's download options. Because Su Fan now shares a body with Vegeta, Vegeta's abilities can be downloaded. Soon, Su Fan found the download option of transforming into a great ape rational version from Vegeta's body. Seeing this name, Su Fan was also speechless for a moment. Transforming into the giant ape rational version, with a size of 300 M, Su Fan took a quarter of an hour to successfully download it. It's just that Su Fan felt that something wasn't quite right the next moment. Although I downloaded Vegeta's, transformed into a great ape rational version, it has nothing to do with Broly's ape form. Moreover, Vegeta's transformation into a great ape rational version, transformation has preconditions. That is, a full moon is necessary to transform. And Broly's ape form does not need to be directly transformed by the full moon. But after Broly's ape form transforms, he loses his mind. It's really hard to choose. Su Fan decided to put these two mastered abilities away first, and now the most important thing is that he can find a way to become a Super Saiyan. However, Su Fan also knows very well that with his own combat power, I am afraid that he will not be able to become a Super Saiyan, right? It seems that if you want to become a Super Saiyan, your combat effectiveness must be increased to more than 100,000. Then there is Su Fan's reputation value, which is still far from 100. It seems that there is no other way to do it except for serious cultivation for the time being. Su Fan felt that wanting to defeat Frieza now was simply delusional. Just when Su Fan was a little distressed, he suddenly found that a light flashed in his sea of knowledge. What's the situation? Su Fan was stunned for a moment. Then, Su Fan saw this light slowly fall and form a button called synthesis. Above this button, there are two circular grooves. What is this thing? Synthesis. Su Fan was stunned, a little puzzled. Could it be that this thing can synthesize the things that you have downloaded? Su Fan tried to casually drag two downloaded options, psychic and magical clothes. Both of these abilities were downloaded from the celestial god. With the mentality of trying it out, Su Fan clicked the synthetic button. Then, Su Fan received a prompt message. The attributes did not match and could not be synthesized. Can't synthesize. Su Fan looked carefully. The two downloaded things. One is psychic, that is, you can walk to the Yin Saudi mansion. One is magic clothes, which can conjure up a brand new outfit for yourself. It seems that these two things really can't be matched together. Then, Su Fan dragged the downloaded abilities again. This time, Su Fan tried to match the Sun Fist and the Demon Seal Wave together, put it in the groove, and clicked the synthesis. Do you combine the Sun Fist and the Demon Seal Wave into the Sun Demon Sealing Wave? Costs 10 reputation, yes no. Quote. Sun Magic Wave. What is this? Immediately after, under the synthesized skill, there is an additional line of text introduction about Sun Magic Sealing Wave. Sun Magic Sealing Wave. It can automatically release dazzling light while releasing the Magic Seal Wave, reducing the opponent's defense to a greater extent and improving the success rate of the Magic Sealing Wave. I'll go, and this kind of good thing. Su Fan was overjoyed in his heart, did not hesitate anymore, and directly pressed the synthesis. Snap. With the two golden flames flashing on the groove, Su Fan clearly felt that a brand new skill emerged in his mind: Sun Demon Sealing Wave. Okay, I'll try this thing first, it doesn't work. Su Fan's expression became solemn. Sun Demon Seal. Su Fan immediately released the Sun Demon Sealing Wave. Suddenly, Su Fan felt a dazzling light flashing on Vegeta's body, and then a spiral flame of light emanated from his hand, rolling a stool in the distance into it. The next moment, I saw that the stool revolved around the spiral light flame. Su Fan slowly withdrew the Sun Demon Seal Wave, and his heart was full of joy. That's great. This Sun Demon Sealing Wave is simply a big killing move. Moreover, what excites Su Fan the most is that when using the Sun Demon Sealing Wave, without the sun, he can also release a dazzling light similar to the Sun Fist in his hand. You know, the Sun Fist needs the sun to be released, and it is not effective without the sun. But this Sun Demon Sealing Wave can release dazzling light out of thin air. Sun Magic Wave. Good stuff. Su Fan then looked at several other skills. Su Fan tried to see, mixing the cultivation techniques of fairy beans one by one with the options to download, and all of them could not be synthesized. It seems that this fairy bean cultivation can only be said later when the material is found. Su Fan quickly set his sights on the ape form, and the transformation into the giant ape rational version. Then, Su Fan dragged the two skills to the groove and clicked on synthesis. As the ape form and the transformed giant ape rational version collectively called ape rationality. Need to spend 10 reputation points, yes no. Quote. Of course, Su Fan would not have the slightest hesitation and directly ordered a yes. Suddenly, along with two golden rays of light flashing, Su Fan found that in the sea of knowledge, there was an additional skill called ape rationalization. Su Fan looked solemn, took a deep breath, and immediately tried to transform into an ape form. Boom. The next moment, I saw Su Fan's body burst out with amazing energy. At the same time, Su Fan clearly saw that his body had also become burly, and there were more strong muscles on his body. Su Fan was concerned about his own combat effectiveness. Su Fan hurriedly downloaded the technology to see his own changes. But immediately after, Su Fan shook his head and returned to his original appearance. Uncles. Su Fan is now on Vegeta's body, trying to ape sanity has a hairy use. This kind of thing, let's wait until you return to your body and try it again. Moreover, seeing that there were only 8 reputation points left, Su Fan suddenly felt that this synthesis was really too consuming reputation points. No, you have to earn a little reputation as soon as possible. At least with this remaining prestige value, Su Fan was no longer able to continue to synthesize skills. However, Su Fan was also idle, and immediately tried to put the ape transformation reason and the realm king fist together to see if it could be synthesized. However, when Su Fan clicked on synthesis, he was surprised to find that a line of prompt text appeared. The reputation value is not enough to synthesize. Su Fan had to leave it for the time being. Time passed day by day. 2 days later, Su Fan's body finally recovered through the healing instrument he had created. Although he has not returned to his peak state, his own strength is already far beyond Vegeta. Su Fan decided to return to his body, always in Vegeta's body, and it was not a thing. Su Fan originally thought, after returning to his body, should he directly shock Vegeta to death. After thinking about it, Su Fan made another decision. If he shocks Vegeta to death, he will have one less good helper if he wants to brush his reputation points. Vegeta is alive, and as long as he challenges him, he will constantly have prestige points. Thinking of this, the corners of Su Fan's mouth hooked an arc. Ah! I saw a flash of white light burst out of Vegeta's body and quickly submerged into Su Fan's body. Su Fan, who had been sleeping all along, also opened his bright eyes all of a sudden, and his eyes were shining. After carefully feeling his body, Su Fan felt that his body was more comfortable. It is worthy of being a body that has undergone thousands of trials and has undergone 300 times gravity training, which is much stronger than Vegeta's. Su Fan simply tried his body for a moment, and was relieved after finding that there was nothing special. As for the injuries on Su Fan's body, it is not a big deal. I believe that in a few days, as long as Su Fan eats more food, the injuries of his body will be automatically repaired. Su Fan then looked at Vegeta and found that Vegeta had fainted. Su Fan remembered that the heavenly god occupied the body of an ordinary human being, and after returning the body, that person was indeed fainted for a short while. Just as Su Fan was thinking like this, he suddenly found that Vegeta's body trembled slightly, and it seemed that he was about to wake up. Su Fan smiled and directly turned on Pool's transfiguration. Ah! I saw that Su Fan's appearance changed rapidly, and between the whiskers, he became a bald head, and his figure was even more burly and strong. It is the image of Naba. Su Fan had just turned into Naba's appearance when he saw Vegeta raise his head, rub his head, and look left and right vigilantly. What is this place? Not a Wampa planet. What happened? Vegeta looked around, left and right, and glanced at Su Fan, who had become Naba. Vegeta, are you awake? You've been sleeping for 3 days. Su Fan said to Vegeta. What happened? Vegeta barked at Su Fan. Have you forgotten? Su Fan asked tentatively. Say it quickly. Vegeta said angrily. Before Su Fan appeared behind you and gave you a thump, of course I know you're letting him, then I saw you faint. Su Fan explained. This is a spaceship. Vegeta found himself in space. Yes. Su Fan continued, just when Su Fan was about to kill me, his small bottle that sealed Broly shattered all of a sudden, and then Broly ran out of it, and the two began a scuffle. Quote. And then, Vegeta believed and asked. I took advantage of the fierce battle between the two of them and quickly took you away. Su Fan said with a smile. I flew near our spaceship, but I found that behind the mountains on the side, there was such a spaceship, which should be Su Fan's. So I immediately took you to this spaceship, and that's how it happened. Quote. Which direction are we going now? Vegeta mused. To Earth, of course. Su Fan smiled. Stupid, our spaceship is still on the planet Wampa, Su Fan and Broly will chase after it. Vegeta said angrily. Ha ha ha, Vegeta, don't worry, I brought our spaceship with me. Su Fan smiled and said to Vegeta, in this case, that Su Fan and Broly will never be able to leave the planet Wampa. Quote. You're doing well, Naba. Vegeta was also relieved, and a faint smile appeared on his face. You are very smart, I didn't misread you. Quote. But then, Vegeta clenched his teeth, clenched his fists, and his forehead was bruised. Abominable. As a genius warrior of the Saiyans and an elite of the royal family, I am now running away. Vegeta felt a little resentful. Su Fan did not answer, carefully looking at Vegeta. It seems that during the time he used his body borrowing, Vegeta had no memory. Not to mention, this body borrowing of the heavenly god is really powerful. However, it is a pity that Su Fan knows that the body can borrow this ability, and he can only borrow people whose strength is much lower than himself. If you encounter Broly or Frieza, the body borrowing will not work. HMPH, but with Su Fan and Broly, it makes me think of a person, a guy we can destroy. Vegeta smiled softly. Who? Su Fan asked knowingly. Frieza. Vegeta said word by word. Vegeta, you mean, want to attract Frieza to the planet Vampa? Su Fan pretended to be surprised and asked, he may not be fooled. Quote. Anyway, let's go to Earth first and fix Raditz's brother. Vegeta mused, if Raditz's brother is really resurrected, it means that the Dragon Ball really exists. When the time comes, we will collect the Dragon Balls and then fulfill the wish of immortality. Quote. Uh-huh. Su Fan nodded. HMPH, by that time, I can deal with Frieza. Vegeta smiled slightly. When I destroy Frieza, I'll go and meet Sufan and Broly again. Quote. Ha ha ha, that's best. Su Fan smiled. I hope everything goes well. The corners of Vegeta's mouth hooked an evil arc, glanced at Su Fan, and asked, by the way, there are still a few days to reach Earth. Quote. 11 more days. Su Fan said. Vegeta didn't speak, left the room, and took a brief look inside the spaceship. When Vegeta saw the dismantled parts in the spacecraft, he couldn't help frowning and asked Su Fan, what's going on? Quote. After I found this spaceship, it was probably destroyed by animals on the planet Wampa, right? Or maybe it was shattered by the powerful energy of the two of them. Su Fan explained, but just in case, I still brought the destroyed spaceship with me, lest they repair the spaceship. Quote. When did you become so smart? Vegeta glanced at Su Fan. Oh, am I stupid? Su Fan sneered. HMPH, if you were usually as smart as you are now, we can take a lot less detours. Vegeta smiled, not suspicious. Where did Vegeta know that Sufan could transfiguration? And where would Vegeta know that Su Fan would become like Naba? Okay, I'm going to sleep, it's better not to disturb me if there's nothing to do. Vegeta said, finding a room and going into a deep sleep. Su Fan found food in the spaceship, and the sea ate and drank. Before Su Fan controlled Vegeta's body, he didn't eat much, or even eat very little. Now that Su Fan has returned to his body, he naturally has to eat some food well and replenish his energy as soon as possible. Although against a Vegeta, Su Fan can pinch him to death with one hand, Su Fan still hopes that his strength can return to its peak state. Sure enough, the physique of the Saiyans is really special enough. After eating a large amount of food, Su Fan obviously felt that the injured body was recovering rapidly. Su Fan ate for a full 5 hours, eating a third of the food, and finally completely healed his body's injuries. At the same time, Su Fan's energy also returned to its peak. Su Fan checked his combat effectiveness. Combat effectiveness 60,000. In a battle with Broly, Su Fan used a 30-fold Realm King Fist and almost hung up, but now it has returned to normal, and its combat effectiveness has only doubled. Now Su Fan's combat strength has increased from the original 40,000 to 60,000. It seems that the best way for Saiyans to cultivate is to keep fighting. Of course, if there are enough fairy beans, the effect of improvement will be even more significant. It is a pity that there are no fairy beans in the Garen Immortals. Okay, I'll try to transform into an ape now. Su Fan clenched his fists, and his expression became solemn. Just now, Su Fan tried to transform into an ape on Vegeta's body, and now that he has returned to his body, he naturally has to try it too. Boom! Su Fan's body erupted with amazing energy. Suddenly, Su Fan's body immediately became strong and burly. It is Broly's kind of ape-like form. No rampage. It is worthy of ape intellectualized sanity. The words, sanity, written behind this ape are definitely the point, and they have to be tested when circled. Su Fan then felt the combat power value brought by this transformation a little. Combat effectiveness, 3 million. Su Fan observed his combat power value by downloading hints about Vegeta's combat strength. What Su Fan didn't expect was that his combat strength actually reached 3 million. At first, Su Fan thought that he had read it wrong, and counted the 0 after 3 several times. After determining that it was a height of 3 million, Su Fan's expression was also full of surprise. That is to say, after transforming into an ape to become rational, his combat effectiveness increased by 50 times. 50 times. What is this concept? Isn't Super Saiyan a 50-fold normal transformation? What Su Fan didn't expect was that Broly's ape form also increased by 50 times. No wonder in the Broly theatrical version of Dragon Ball Super, Broly's ape form is so powerful. So to speak, if on this basis, it becomes a Super Saiyan again. I'll go. That's 2,500 times big. In other words, if Su Fan can become a Super Saiyan, with the current value of 60,000 combat power, he can have 150 million combat power. With 150 million combat power, there is no problem in defeating Frieza. Su Fan felt excited when he thought about it. However, Su Fan is not the type who is carried away by victory. He knows very well that his basic combat effectiveness is too low, and it is definitely a hard injury. Moreover, with a combat power of 60,000, it is impossible for Su Fan to transform into a Super Saiyan. Moreover, it is still unknown whether the transformation into a Super Saiyan in ape form can be increased by 50 times. Su Fan is just guessing, and he may not be able to multiply so many times. Snap. Just then, Vegeta pushed the door and rushed out of the room. Naba, what are you doing? Vegeta shouted angrily at Su Fan. I'm cultivating. Su Fan smiled and gradually regained his physical form. HMPH, you idiot, do you know that this Earthling's spaceship is not very strong? If the ship is shattered, we will both be finished. Vegeta shouted angrily. Ha ha ha, got it. Su Fan smiled. It annoys me. Vegeta gave Su Fan a roll of his eyes and praised again, but your momentum of raising the energy just now is still very good. Wait until you get to the Earth, you can perform well. Quote. Su Fan nodded. By the way, is there anything to eat? Vegeta's stomach began to cry out with hunger. I found some food and it tasted good. Su Fan pointed to a food pantry over there. If there is something delicious, don't say it earlier. Vegeta muttered, walked over and opened the locker, took out the food and ate it. Planetary planet. Very good Wukong, after this period of cultivation, you have completely mastered the Realm King Fist and the Yuan Chi Bullet. The Realm King said with satisfaction, I have to say that Su Fan came here and still has a lot of motivation for your cultivation. Quote. Ha ha ha, yes. Sun Wukong scratched his head and smiled. Goku, as I said, the Yuan Chi bomb is the vitality that gathers the creatures of the entire planet, and once condensed, the power is very amazing. The Realm King smiled at Sun Wukong, and there are too few creatures on this planet. If it is replaced by Earth, the power will be extraordinary, so use it carefully. Quote. Lord Realm King, how far is there between my current strength and Su Fan? Monkey King asked with some expectation. It's hard to say. The Realm King shook his head slightly. Okay, I see. Sun Wukong nodded and did not ask any more. In just over a month, the Saiyans will come to Earth, and the people who defeated those two Saiyans will be you or Su Fan. The King of the Realm carries his hands behind his back and smiles. I'm going to continue cultivating and try to defeat those two Saiyans. Sun Wukong's fists clenched. Well, I'll take a look by the way, where those two Saiyans have gone. The Realm King muttered. After saying this, the tentacles on the head of the Realm King shook slightly, and he looked towards the depths of the universe. At a glance, the face of the Realm King changed color at that time. What? How so? What happened? The Realm King said in a deep voice. What's wrong? Lord Kaiwang. Sun Wukong hurriedly asked. That Saiyan named Vegeta, it is speeding in the direction of the Earth, and it is expected to reach the Earth in about 10 days. The King of the Realm was stunned. Didn't you say there was still more than a month? Sun Wukong asked puzzled. It is estimated that it passed through the wormhole and entered the galaxy in advance. The King of the Realm guessed. What is a wormhole? Monkey King wondered. Strange. Why are they on a spaceship? Doesn't look like a Saiyan spaceship. The King of the Realm thought thoughtfully. What do you mean? Monkey King scratched his head. Okay Goku, I've taught you pretty much what I can do, now you immediately resurrect your buddies. The Realm King said with a solemn expression. But how do I contact my companions? Is there a phone? Monkey King asked. Put your hand on my back, meditate on someone's name, and you can communicate with his heart. The Realm King said. Really? Lord Realm King is amazing. Sun Wukong said happily. Immediately afterwards, Sun Wukong put his hand on the back of the Realm King. In Sun Wukong's mind, Su Fan's figure also immediately appeared. Su Fan, did you hear that? I am the Monkey King. Sun Wukong's voice quickly reached Su Fan's heart through the Realm King. Goku. What's up? Su Fan was stunned for a moment and quickly asked. Here's the thing, I heard Lord Realm King say that the Saiyans will arrive on Earth in 11 days, so I want to ask you to resurrect me. Monkey King said. Well, you better let Klin handle this, I'm not on Earth. Su Fan replied truthfully. What? You are not on Earth. Where did you go Su Fan? Sun Wukong was surprised. I'm on a planet called Wampa, which is far from Earth. Su Fan replied, also, the Saiyans went to Earth, I'm afraid I can't participate in the battle, Goku, you have to be careful. Quote. Huh. You don't go into battle. Monkey King asked in a lost voice. Can't go back. Su Fan replied. Well, I was thinking of fighting alongside you. Sun Wukong said with a wry smile. You better hurry up and inform Teacher Wushan and let him resurrect you. Su Fan proposed. Well, I'll talk to Teacher Wushan. Monkey King nodded in reply. Then, Sun Wukong took his hand away from the back of the Realm King. What's wrong, Goku? The Realm King asked. Su Fan said that he was not on Earth, on the planet Wampa. Sun Wukong said with a wry smile. Not on Earth. The King of the Realm was stunned for a moment, planet Wampa. Quote. Saying that, the Realm King looked far away, the tentacles on his head trembled slightly, and looked in the direction of the planet Wampa. It didn't take long for the King of Realm to see the planet Wampa, and the Pelagas who had fallen to the ground. The King of the Realm was slightly startled, and searched the planet for a moment, but where could he find Su Fan's figure? Strange, Su Fan is not on the planet Wampa, the Realm King muttered in a low voice. Lord Realm King, what's wrong with Su Fan? Monkey King asked. Nothing, nothing. The King of the Realms didn't explain much. That, Lord Realm King, I'd better talk to Grandpa the Turtle Immortal and let the Grandpa the Turtle Immortal resurrect me. Of course, Sun Wukong didn't think much about it. Okay. The King of the Realm nodded. Soon, Sun Wukong got in touch with Teacher Wushan. What? The Saiyans are still 10 days or so away. The Turtle Immortal was surprised. Okay, I know, I'll bring you back to life. In order to collect the Dragon Balls, everyone has put a lot of effort into it. Quote. Thank you, Grandpa Turtle Immortal. Sun Wukong nodded. By the way, Su Fan asked me to tell Bulma that he may not be able to come back before the Saiyans come. Quote. Okay, got it. The Turtle Immortal replied. After the Turtle Immortal and Sun Wukong ended the call, they immediately conveyed Sun Wukong's news to Klin. Klin had already returned from cultivation in the temple, and immediately took out the Dragon Balls, summoned the Divine Dragon, and revived Sun Wukong. When the Divine Dragon appeared, the entire sky turned black. Distant hilly terrain. When they saw that the sky was dark, Vic and Son Gohan, who was cultivating, also immediately stopped and looked up at the sky. What happened? Uncle Vic. Son Gohan asked puzzled. The Divine Dragon has appeared, and the Monkey King should be resurrected, Vic said in a deep voice, so, the Saiyans are coming early. Quote. Huh. Son Gohan was frightened. Very good, I've been waiting for this day for a long time. Vic had endless confidence on his face. Distant swamps. Tianjin rice and dumplings are also being cultivated here. When they saw that it was dark, the two were silent for a while. Brother Tien, said Dumpling in a deep voice. Dumplings, you stay then. The opponent this time is extraordinary. Tianjin Fan instructed. Gurinta. You still eat. The Saiyans are about to come. The Garen Immortal shouted angrily at Archirobe. What's the matter with me? Akirobe nibbled on a large mouthful of chicken thighs, eating a mouthful full of oil. Universal Capsules Company headquarters. Are the Saiyans coming early? Bulma also looked up at the sky, her face pale. After the sky brightened again, Bulma suddenly received a call from Klin. What do you say? Can't Su Fan come back in time? Why? Bulma asked in surprise. Let's wait for Goku to come back, I don't know very well. Klin replied. I know, Su Fan didn't know that the Saiyan would come early, he went to an alien planet. Bulma took a deep breath and said, it's a pity, Su Fan must want to fight. Quote. Ha ha ha, yes, yes. Okay, I see, you guys need to come on. Bulma inspires. We'll work hard. Klin replied. The planet of the King of the Realm. Ah. The golden aura on Sun Wukong's head also gradually disappeared. Am I resurrected? Monkey King smiled. Go ahead, Goku. The King of the Realm nodded. Come on. Be sure to defeat the Saiyans. Quote. Well, I will. Sun Wukong responded with a solemn expression, but did not mean to leave immediately. Why don't you leave yet? The King of the Realm asked. Isn't Lord Realm King sending me back? Sun Wukong asked puzzled. You think too much. The Realm King shook his head. Huh. You mean, let me cross the Snake Road and return to Earth? Sun Wukong was stunned. When I came, I ran for half a year. Quote. Don't worry, with your current strength, it won't take so long. The King of the Realm smiled. Okay, I'll give it a try. Sun Wukong waved his hand. When I die, I will come back to Lord Realm King. Quote. Haha, of course it's no problem. The King of the Realm nodded. Then, goodbye, Lord King of the Realm. Sun Wukong soared into the air and flew onto the Snake Road. Phew. Immediately afterwards, Sun Wukong turned into a white light and flew towards the direction of King Yan Luo's hall. What a speed. Before he came, it was like two people. The Realm King looked at the speeding Sun Wukong with great satisfaction, and then muttered in a low voice, however, compared with Su Fan, there seems to be a certain gap. Quote. After a short silence. That's it, Su Fan is a descendant of a Moshi, and no matter how hard Goku tries, he can't surpass him. The Realm King shook his head slightly and sighed. The descendants of God, although the bloodline has been diluted for hundreds of years, they still have a certain godhead after all. Quote. Only, where does the King of Realm know? Su Fan had only gained his current strength after hard cultivation. 3 hours later. Sun Wukong has already seen the end of the Snake Road. Phew. At this moment, the figure of the Earth's heavenly god shook and appeared in the hall of King Yan Luo. Goku, come, pull me. The god greeted Sun Wukong. It's Tenjin, great. Sun Wukong hurriedly stepped forward and pulled the heavenly god. Ah. The god took Sun Wukong and disappeared in a flash. Huh. Is that the Monkey King? Did he really come back from cultivating from the Realm King? King Yan Luo looked at the two disappeared people in surprise. The rest of the staff also looked at Sun Wukong in surprise, their faces sweating. Ah. The god took Sun Wukong and returned to the temple. Goku, welcome home. Tenjin smiled. Thank you Tenjin. Sun Wukong nodded. In 10 days, the Saiyans will come to Earth. Quote. Well, the Earth will usher in a battle of life and death. Tenjin said in a deep voice. I'll come on. Sun Wukong replied. Well, it's all up to you, Goku. The heavenly god smiled, and then asked with a solemn expression, by the way, I heard that Su Fan is not on Earth. Quote. Yes, he said he went to the planet Wampa and couldn't come back for a while. Sun Wukong smiled bitterly. Got it. Tenjin nodded, and then looked at Goku. Since you have been resurrected Goku, let's go home first. Quote. That's what I thought. Sun Wukong nodded, then, Tenjin, Mr. Bobo, goodbye. Quote. Tenjin and Mr. Bobo waved their hands. Sun Wukong descended from the temple, summoned the Duyun, and sped in the direction of Bun Mountain. By the way, Gohan seems to be Vic training him, right? If I go back and don't bring Gohan over, Kiki will definitely be angry. Son Goku smiled, cut an arc in midair, changed the direction of travel, and quickly flew towards the position of Vic and Son Gohan. More than half an hour later. Son Goku descends from the sky and lands beside Gohan and Bike. Dad. Son Gohan was pleasantly surprised, and quickly threw himself into Sun Wukong's arms, crying loudly. Haha, I didn't expect Gohan to be seen for so long, you have grown up, and your height has grown a lot. Sun Wukong smiled and touched Sun Wuhan's head. Woohoo, Dad, it's great that you're resurrected, I want to go home. Son Gohan said crying. Well, I came here to pick up Gohan and go home. Sun Wukong nodded and looked at Bike. Thank you Bike, for taking care of Gohan for so long. Quote. How long until the Saiyans arrive? Vic asked, looking Monkey King up and down. 10 days to go. Sun Wukong replied. 10 days. Bike's face sank slightly. By the way, Su Fan said that he is on an alien planet. It is estimated that he will not be able to return in time, and the matter of fighting with the Saiyans has to be handed over to us. Monkey King said. What? Su Fan went to an alien planet. What does he want to do? Vic was puzzled. I don't know, Sun Wukong scratched his head. Forget it, don't care about him, now my strength is far beyond Su Fan. Vic smiled softly. So, when the time comes, let's fight together. Monkey King greeted with a smile on Bike. HMPH, I'll let you know how strong I am. Vic smiled. Sun Wukong nodded slightly, picked up Sun Wuhan, and stepped on the cloud. In 10 days, the news that the Saiyans would descend on Earth was soon known to the Z warriors. Bike, Tianjin Rice, Dumpling, Klin and others intensified their cultivation and fought hard to be able to defeat the Saiyans. After Son Goku returned home with Gohan, Kiki held her son and cried for a while, saying that she would not let Gohan participate in the battle. Well, it doesn't matter if Gohan participates or not, I'll defeat those two Saiyans. Sun Wukong smiled slightly. My Gohan, you're all wild kids now. Kiki said crying. Time passed day by day. 10 days later at noon. Su Fan controlled the spaceship and landed in an uninhabited mountainous area. Okay, I'm going. Son Goku said to Kiki and Gohan. Dad, I'll go with you. Son Gohan replied with a solemn expression. Gohan, what did you say? You are not allowed to go. Kiki was stunned for a moment, and quickly drank at Sun Wuhan. Haha, Kiki, in fact, let Gohan go through the experience, don't worry, Gohan will not participate in the battle. Sun Wukong scratched his head and summoned Duyun. Snap. Sun Wukong pulled Sun Wuhan and stepped on the somersault cloud and flew into the sky. Abominable. Goku, you send Gohan back for me. Kiki pinched her waist and shouted angrily. It's just that Sun Wukong has already flown away with Sun Wuhan. Crunch. The spaceship hatch opened, and Sufan and Vegeta flew out of it, and their eyes were also put on the probe again. Vegeta and Nappa's spacecraft have extra probes. So although the two-man's probe is basically broken on the planet Wampa, there are still new ones to replace. Oh. Is this the Earth? Nice environment. Vegeta had an endless smile on her face. After about 10 days of self-treatment, Vegeta's injury has also completely healed. However, because Vegeta's injury was not very serious, his combat effectiveness did not double. Vegeta, there are many people on this planet who have a combat power of more than 1000. Su Fan said in Nappa's tone. HMPH, during the time we went to Earth, they must be cultivating hard, and that Su Fan is the best example. When Vegeta thought of Su Fan, she couldn't help but snort. But do they really think that this will defeat us? Su Fan smiled. Oh. There's a guy over there with a combat power of about 2000, and he's speeding towards us. Vegeta smiled. Is it Kakarot? Quote. So, he's really resurrected. Su Fan said. Wait here, we'll know the answer later. Vegeta smiled. 20 minutes later. Vic fell from the sky and landed opposite Sufan and Vegeta. Saiyan, you are finally here. Vic said coldly. Are you? Vegeta was slightly stunned, looked at Vic and said, that's right, you were the one who fought alongside Kakarot and fought against Raditz, right? Quote. You, how do you know? Vic was stunned and quickly asked. Don't you know? This thing can be used as a communicator. Vegeta smiled and turned his head to look at Su Fan. By the way, this guy is not an Earthling, who is it? You know what? Quote. I can't remember exactly, replied Su Fan. I remember, he seems to be a nemesis. Vegeta was silent for a moment, then said suddenly. What? That Mexians. Vic also widened his eyes. I heard that the nemesis have some magical magic, so you made the Dragon Balls, right? Vegeta looked at Vic thoughtfully. HMPH, although Dragon Ball has something to do with me, but Dragon Ball is not made by me. Vic said coldly. So, can you tell me where the Dragon Ball is? Vegeta smiled slightly, looked at Vic and asked. Do you think I'll tell you? Vic sneered. I knew you would say that, but it didn't matter. Vegeta crossed his arms and said lightly, I know Kakarot is flying towards this side, you guys want to fight together, right? Quote. Vic didn't speak. At this moment, I saw a figure in the sky swaying, and Klin fell from the sky and landed beside Bike. Oh. Here comes another person, kind of interesting. Vegeta said with a smile. There are 2 people over there and 2 people over there, flying quickly towards this side. Su Fan said to Vegeta. Very good, then let's wait patiently, and then repair Kakarot, and ask about the Dragon Ball by the way. Vegeta's face grew more confident. Boom. In the middle of the day, 2 more people fell from the sky and appeared at the scene. It was Tianjin Rice and Dumplings. Tianjin Rice. Dumplings. Klin greeted kindly. Those 2 are Saiyans. Tianjin Fan glanced at Su Fan and Vegeta. Yes. Klin nodded. Why hasn't there been a war yet? Tianjin Fan asked. Maybe they want to wait for Goku to come over. Klin guessed, but Tianjin Rice, I haven't seen you for a long time. I found that your strength has improved a lot. Su Fan's things, let you cultivate harder. Quote. By the way, Su Fan didn't come. Tianjin Fan asked. It is said that he is on the planet Wampa and will not return for a while. Klin smiled wryly. It's a shame, I thought he was going to fight alongside us. Tianjin Rice smiled. Vic didn't speak, just looked at Vegeta warily, and then at Sufan, who was transformed into Naba. These two people, the little man looks unfathomable, but the big tall bald head gives people a very terrifying feeling. Vic frowned, feeling bad. Oh, are you talking about Su Fan? Vegeta smiled coldly. Don't have any expectations, he is already trapped on the planet Wampa, and there is no way to return. Quote. What? Stuck on the planet Wampa? Klin asked in surprise. See. It was his spaceship. Vegeta pointed to the spaceship behind him. Is that the spaceship of Universal Capsule Company. There is also the logo of Bulma and their company on it. Klin's eyes widened and he said in a deep voice, so, Su Fan really can't come back. Quote. What did he go to the planet Wampa for? Tianjin asked puzzled. HMPH, your good fortune ends here. Vegeta smiled. Listen to you, you met on the planet Vampha. Vic asked lightly. Vegeta smiled and did not speak. You must have fought each other, right? Did you lose to him? Vic looked at Vegeta and asked word for word. What did you say? Vegeta's face changed color and a scowl appeared. It seems that I am right, you are not Su Fan's opponent. Vic sneered. Bike, don't provoke him. Klin's face broke out in sweat. That Meiji man, I see you've lived enough. Vegeta trembled with anger and aimed his hand at Bike's body. However, just as Vegeta's voice fell, a number popped up on the detector he was wearing. What? What is that? Vegeta's face changed color. How? Su Fan asked. In a position that is relatively far away from us, there are two combat power reactions, and the combat power of one of them is 5,000. Vegeta's face became a little ugly. 5,000. That must be Kakatal, no doubt. Su Fan nodded. You don't seem surprised at all. Vegeta glanced at Su Fan. After experiencing the Brawly thing, there is nothing surprising about the combat power of 5,000. Su Fan said lightly. Naba, kill them now. Vegeta made an instant decision. As soon as this statement came out. Oh. Why? Su Fan smiled slightly. That guy has a combat power of 5,000, if they all unite, it will be a bit troublesome to deal with. Vegeta explained to Su Fan. You're right, let me clean them up. Su Fan smiled slightly, and walked step by step in the direction where Vic and the others were. Boom. Su Fan's body erupted with a powerful aura, vast energy, and the entire planet that shook trembled slightly. However, Su Fan only exploded his aura to about 4,000 combat strength. Rao was so, and Vic and the others present were also so frightened that their whole bodies trembled and their faces turned pale. I'm coming. Su Fan said, flew up, and rushed in the direction where Vic and the others were. Vic and the others immediately prepared for battle. All come. Tianjin Fan said, standing up and trying to resist Su Fan. Bang! I saw Su Fan gently wave his hand and slap it over. With a muffled sound, Tianjin Rice flew out upside down at that time, rubbing his body on the ground, leaving a horizontal ditch on the ground, and when the slide was over, he fainted on the spot. What? Bike's face became more and more ugly. Tianjin Rice. Klin shouted. Brother Tien. The dumplings even aimed their hands at Su Fan, and the special function was displayed. It's just that the special function of dumplings is of no use to Su Fan at all. Ah! Su Fan shook and appeared directly opposite the dumpling. The dumpling was so frightened that his face was extremely ugly, and his whole body was trembling. Little ghost, are you cursing me by pointing your hands at me? Su Fan looked at the dumplings with a smile. The dumplings were horrified, and in the face of such a burly Saiyan, the cold was all over his body. Bang! Su Fan pinched the neck of the dumpling and threw it on the ground casually. With a muffled sound, the dumplings didn't even have time to snort, and they fainted on the spot. Next, it's you two. Su Fan turned his head to look at Klin and Bike. Suddenly, Vic and Klin were like great enemies. Sure enough, after Su Fan easily defeated Tianjin Rice and Dumplings, his reputation value increased by 2 each. Now Su Fan's total reputation has become 12. Su Fan really wanted to try the synthetic realm King Fist and Ape transformation reason now, but if he thought about it, it was not bad for a while and a half. Ah! Su Fan's figure shook and quickly swept towards Klin's direction. Wow! Whoa! However, just as Su Fan approached Klin, he saw Klin shout loudly and loudly. Immediately afterwards, Clint aimed his hands at the ground and released a flame of energy light. The next moment, Su Fan felt a green figure sway, appeared behind him, trying to grab his tail. It was Vic who shot. Thanks for watching, please subscribe and support our channel.